Hey, Mom. Wait. Mom, what are you doing?
This is what grown-ups do when they're in love!
You're a retard.
To Michael.
Stop it.
And that whole, they're lucky I don't let my daughter say her piece on that. I dare you, kid. Listen to me, Kate, you fucking dumb cunt. I dare you. Dare you to let that little fucking psychopath out of her cage.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I dare you.
I dare.
I dare you.
Yeah, by the way,
I'll give her to Kearney, you little fucking cunt. Keep fucking with me.
What are your thoughts on Bill Cosby? I mean, he's a rapist. Hello. What's up, Turtle Riders? How's everyone doing tonight? Good, good, excellent. Welcome to this special edition of the Turtleboy live show. Can you guys hear me okay out there? Are we coming in okay? All right, cool. All right, guys, so this is a special edition. Usually we don't do this on Wednesday nights, but I figured the stuff we're going to hear tonight isn't normal content. It's more of an explanation about what the hell happened last Friday and who the hell that ogre was. If you guys did not see it, last Friday morning, I was in Jamaica Plain at West Roxbury District Courthouse to attend the arraignment of a woman by the name of Catherine Peter. You might know her as Cumshot Kate or Krusty Panties or Kate Peter or whatever. She has a little YouTube channel called the Masshole Troll Mafia or something like that. She's basically a 35-year-old grown woman who produced 4 children, has 2 of them, and spends all of her days on YouTube trolling people rather than raising her children. And she also likes to judge a lot of other people, as we're going to see. But she also harasses, she takes it way too far often. And not only against me, but also against completely innocent people. But before we get too into that, let me just real quick here share at the top of this. If you guys would like to donate to the program, it's just so we have this at the top. We are demonetized on YouTube, as you all know by now. We don't have to give that whole speech. So if you would like to donate to the program, what are we saying here? Pin donate. I'm doing that right now. Okay. I am going to pin this to the top. That is called Turtle Chat. You can donate whatever amount of money you want on that. I will get an email notification throughout the show. I will periodically stop and I'll check my emails and I will bring up any emails that I got about this. And if you donate, you get to write a little message. And I will bring it up on the big screen. You can also cash at me at $ Uncle Turtleboy, in which case I will get a text message and I will read that. We've been demonetized for about a year and a half now. We had the wrong opinions about President Biden's climax mandate. We call it, it's vaccine. The vaccine. I had the wrong opinions about the vaccine, which turned out to be the right opinions. But yeah. But anyway, so we're here to talk about that. So basically, I was in court. Again, it's pinned to the top if you guys would like to donate that way. I believe it is. There we go. Okay. So I was in court and she was there for a matter. She's being charged with violation of a harassment prevention order, not against me, against an innocent woman by the name of Lauren. And poor Lauren did nothing wrong except be associated with me. It's really nobody's business, what our friendship is, whatever. Except Kate seems to think it really is. And because this woman who did nothing wrong to her, never spoke to her once in her whole life, was associated with me, Kate decided that it was fair game to post her address, post her name, send people to her house. She claimed that she was spying on us for the last 6 months, that she had hired a private investigator to follow us around. Really psychopath shit. Contacted her work, contacted family members of hers as well as mine, just non-stop stuff, and posted lewd images of the woman as well that she had been sent. So that woman finally, after about 9 months of this, decided, I'm going to get a harassment prevention order. She did, and went down to the West Roxbury courthouse, got it, a temporary one. Kate violated the order within like 24 hours. She spoke directly to the woman who got an ex parte order on her, insisted she would not get a full year order, did, insisted she would not be charged with violating the prevention order, did, by the Boston Police Department, insisted that the magistrate would not find probable cause. They did, and eventually was charged. So now, as a reporter, I get to cover this kind of stuff. I like to cover criminal trials, especially if it involves people that have single-handedly tried to harm our product here and harm people that I care about. So I go down to the courthouse. Was it 3 weeks ago? And she was alone by herself after threatening me for weeks, like saying, "I'm month rider, don't show up. If you show up, we're going to hurt you. I'm going to bring men, blah, blah, blah. You're not tough," all this stuff. And so I showed up anyway, because that's what I do. There was no men. And so I, as a reporter, attempt to ask her questions outside the courthouse. She has no response to any of these questions and drives off angrily. Then 3 weeks later, she shows up. This was last Friday with something resembling a man. It really looks like junkie Andrew Luck. If you have not seen the tape, I'm going to play it real quick for you guys, just in case we are not all on the same page here. So let's bring this up. Miss Peter, any comment? Any comment? Don't fucking touch me. Miss Peter, any comment? Don't touch me. Do not touch me. Do not. You gotta touch me. You're already touching me. That's all right. Excuse me. I have a right to walk. Miss Peter, any comment? Any comment about why you violated the harassment prevention order, Miss Peter? Any comment about the criminal charges today?
Judge said all interested parties.
I'm media. So I just have a comment. I'm media. Fuck off. Any comment, Miss Peter? Excuse me? Accomplice, he says.
Is that a comment from the attorney?
Big talk.
Any comment about the criminal charges? About the continued violation of the innocent victim? Where's your ring? Do you have a ring? Where's your ring?
No ring, huh? So you're not married. Okay, so it's not married. What is wrong with you? Look at you. You're so mad. You're so mad.
Yeah.
You're so mad.
I'm real mad.
Oh, I know you are. Big words. No, real quick, by the way, I've been told today, I can't confirm this, that the minivan parked in the back there, that dump truck was in that minivan. I can't prove that, but that's what somebody told me today. A little birdie told me that. She claims she has a tape of this. Love to see it. Love to see it. Let's see it. Let's see it. The reason she hasn't released the tape, of course, it would confirm to the Boston Police Department that indeed I was both assaulted and battered by this ogre who got in his car, gave me the finger, and drove away shortly after that. So his name, that guy is named Andrew Johnson. Andrew Johnson is a drug addict who came into Kate Peters' life around 2014 by my timeline. So how this works. So Kate got knocked up with the first kid in 2006 by a guy named Rick Kelly. And Rick is a drug addict. He's been in and out of jail for a long time. He struggles with substance abuse. He's played no part in his daughter's life. And that's the first one. Now, that poor girl was immediately, they were 18 years old when she gave birth to him, or birth to her. And the girl was immediately put into DCF care because both of her parents were addicted to drugs. So that didn't stop her. From a couple years later, she got a new boyfriend by the name of Stephen Young. And Stephen Young was violent. That's the way she likes her men. And she conceived a child with him, her second son, or first son, second child. And within a year, she had another one. And then a year later, she had another one. I believe by 2011, I want to say, she had 4 things come out of her, 4 human beings come out of her stench trench. And she was certainly in no position to raise 1, never mind 4, because she didn't have a job. She was addicted to all sorts of substances. She had no plan in life, and she burned bridges like crazy, even though she came from a pretty well-to-do family on Cape Cod. So Natasha knows them very well, actually. She was on our show a while ago. She says they were dating back in 2011 and 2012. Now, he beat the shit out of her, and he was arrested for beating the shit out of her, I believe, in 2011. But she kept him in her life. So like there was a transition there between Stephen Young and Andrew Johnson. And Andrew Johnson was supposed to be like an upgrade. Like that's supposed to be the guy. Or at least he doesn't like beat the shit out of me, right? Like he's a good guy. But really, he was just the latest drug addict to move into her life. And DCF point blank told her that you need to make a decision, either this guy or the kids. Of course, she chose this guy. She continued to, he wasn't not supposed to be living there, but he did. And they hid that from the Department of Child and Family Services. And this went on for several years, and it kept her from getting her kids back. She did not get full custody of her kids back, I believe, until early in 2018 or late 2017. But they were in and out of her house constantly because she kept, relapsing or not following the plan or whatever. So they lived together. Now, Andrew Johnson, the guy you saw in that video, that did not happen in a vacuum, like what you just saw there. That was pretty common behavior for him. This guy has been arrested several times. There have been a series of incidents at their house. He has been charged 5 times with violent offenses, but that is not counted the literally hundreds of times that police have been called to 47 Avery Street over the years. Those are just the times when criminal charges were filed. So let's read a couple of them. The first one we're going to read here is from 2016. This is a police report from the North Attleboro Police Department from 2016. And I apologize if it's a little small here, but we'll get through it. All right. So Officer Grasso was dispatched to 47 Avery Street after receiving a call regarding an ongoing verbal domestic between a boyfriend. I'd like to point that out there, boyfriend and girlfriend. Before we go any further, I just want to play a little clip here. Okay. 2 little clips, actually. Do I have the other one? I got a whole buttload of clips here. Let me see. Here's the other clip. Let me play this clip here before we even go any further, because these are interesting, because she's going to constantly call this guy something other than her boyfriend. Let's see what she calls him here. Well, I don't even have this plugged in, do I? Okay. Let's play this.
And get my life in order to the point where I have a job now, I have a car, I am actually married, right? And I'm in a relationship that, has been rocky at points too, but, is stable enough that he's stuck around.
So this video is from 2020 after the split. And she's saying, presenting herself as like this person who has turned like, yeah, I'm woman, hear me roar. Like I had a tough time in life, but I've got my shit together, and now look how stable I am. To the point where I have a job now, I have a car. I am actually married, right? What was that on her ring? That's what I want to know. What was that? Like, why? I never understood the lying about being married part. Like, why lie? We're going to see every single one of these police reports. He's referred to as the boyfriend. He is not married to her. He is a boyfriend. I don't know what that thing is on her finger, but it is not a wedding.
Right? And I'm in a relationship that, has been rocky at points too, but, is at least stable enough that he's stuck around.
And remember that. This is a rocky relationship, but it's been stable enough that he has stuck around. He has stuck around. As we're going to see, this is the exact opposite. This is what stable is. I don't want to see what unstable is. How about this one from just like, I don't know, a month ago? How about this one?
Her marriage situation. Okay. Are you married?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Do you cohabitate with your husband?
I do.
Okay. And any follow-up on that? I don't know why that's is he okay? Is he?
It's kind of scary how easily she lies. Like, why lie? Like, why get up there and like you're having this dramatic tell-all moment, like, oh, I'm going to share my truth and all this stuff. Hold on one second. Where the hell did this headphone go? Where's this connected to? There we go. I'm going to plug this in. All right. I'm going to change my mic real quick. Like, why lie about that? You know, like how she can so easily just lie on command like that without breaking face or anything like that. It's diabolical. It's sociopath type of behavior. So let's go back to this report from 2016. All right. So Andrew Johnson informed us that he had been verbally. So Andrew Johnson's the one that called the cops that day. He had been verbally arguing with his girlfriend, Catherine Peter, since early this afternoon. He stated that she had been accusing him of abusing drugs, and he wishes that Catherine would spend the night elsewhere. He informed us that when Catherine came home, she was threatening him with the restraining order, stating that she was just granted one from the court. Andrew also stated that Catherine's 2 children also reside in the apartment. Andrew stated that there was no physical altercation and contacted the police because of her statements regarding the restraining order and because she was keeping Andrew's keys from him. Officer Connolly then spoke with her inside while I remained outside with Andrew. Catherine then informed Officer Connolly that Andrew has a drug addiction and has been abusing the medication which Catherine is prescribed for ADHD. Doesn't she make fun of the fact that I take Adderall? Like, okay, cool. You take the same thing. Catherine stated her prescription usually gets refilled today, the 18th of the month. When she informed Andrew that she was not going to be refilling her medication, he became upset and began to show erratic behavior by locking her outside of the house, hacking into her cell phone account, and stated that he was going to bury her. Catherine stated, now who knows what's true here and what's not? With these two, you never know who's lying and who's telling the truth because she is a pathological liar. And I don't doubt that this guy is somewhat abused, somewhat. Like no doubt she hits him, no doubt. But the mental abuse, like he's a stupid person. He's literally a caveman, a drug addicted caveman. But he's her drug addicted caveman, and she can control him essentially, except when he goes full Frankenstein and beats the shit out of her, and then it's like, what have I created here? Anyway, I then questioned Andrew in regards to abusing her prescribed let's see. So Catherine stated there was no physical altercation, but she feels Andrew's behavior is going to worsen and become physical. I questioned him in regards to him abusing her prescribed medications, which he denied. Andrew declined to exercise his 209A rights. However, Catherine stated she wished to apply for a 209A. That's a restraining order, and stated she would come to North Attleboro Police to provide the appropriate paperwork. She showed no signs of abuse. Notice that he's the one who called the cops, but he doesn't even want the order. She gets the order. She flips it around on him. Catherine then provided a written statement detailing her account of the incident and expressing her fear of Andrew. But yet, this is 6 years, yet she's still here. Catherine informed me that in the past, Andrew damaged her cell phone and shut off the electricity to parts of the apartment when he leaves for work in the morning. Catherine stated that Andrew's drug abuse seems to be deteriorating, even though he's been committed for treatment twice before. She again stated that there was no physical altercation and does not wish to press charges. Instead, she wishes for Andrew to be forced to leave the residence. I then spoke with Judge Cynthia Brackett and informed her all pertinent information. She spoke with Catherine via the telephone and granted Catherine an emergency order, ordering Andrew to remain away from the residence. Officer Connolly and I then responded back to Avery Street and served Andrew his copy of the order. I advised him to have no contact with her, and he can arrive at Attleboro District Court tomorrow when the order expires. And he left. So that's our first documented incident with the police there in 2016. This is July of 2016. Next one, November of 2016. See, this one says, I was dispatched to Avery Street for a past domestic issue and possible B&E to the residence by an ex-boyfriend, Andrew Johnson. So he calls again. I arrived and spoke with Catherine Peter, who stated Johnson came into her apartment, removed some items, and damaged some items. Peter showed me that her television was removed from the stand and placed in her closet. She stated that her thermostat was ripped off the wall. There were pictures of her and Johnson that were missing, along with the coat rack and the power cord to her Keurig was cut, rendering it useless. Peter stated that Johnson has a drug issue, always blaming the drugs. I asked Peter how she knows he did it, and she stated he was the one taking care of my puppy while I was at work. I advised Peter that if Johnson was legally present in the home, and given the information I have so far, it does not appear to meet the elements of a B&E. However, if he was caught damaging the property, it is malicious damage. I asked Peter to tell me how this happened. She stated that she asked Johnson, her ex-boyfriend, to watch the puppy while she worked an overnight shift. Peter stated that they spoke on the phone. While she was at work, she brought up his drug issue. Peter stated that he got mad and the conversation ended. They then began texting back and forth about a male friend of Peter's. Peter told Johnson via text to not go back to her house. She assumed he had left. She arrived home and observed the damage and sent Johnson several texts. Johnson makes reference to a missing thermostat and advises her how to connect the wires. She also stated that she contacted Johnson by phone and he said, "Why don't you have some coffee?" There were no text messages regarding the statement, and she did not write that in her witness statement. I took photos of the apartment and text messages, spoke with Johnson by phone. He agreed to come speak with me at the station. I advised Peter of her 209A rights and indicated the same at the apartment form. Peter completed a witness statement. And then later that day, Officer McCune came into the station to speak with Johnson. I invited him to the interview room and advised him of his Miranda rights. He stated, "I'm not signing anything, but I'll talk to you." I asked for his side of the story regarding his ex-girlfriend, Catherine Peter. He stated that he wished me to watch her puppy while she worked, so I did. I asked if he noticed anything broken in her home, and he stated no. I asked him about the TV and the thermostat. He stated the puppy chews on wires, and she doesn't have cable, and blah, 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 blah. He stated that in regards to the thermostat, he removed it from the wall because it doesn't work, and he tied two wires together to get the heat to run. He added he does plumbing work for a living. I did note the thermostat in the wall area were unharmed. I asked Johnson about the Keurig coffee maker. He stated he has no idea what happened to it. Johnson added that he has been coming to her apartment with her permission, has been removing personal items such as a poster and pictures and clothing. I asked him if he had a drug addiction, and he stated he used to, but he's been clean. I advised Johnson that I will be applying for a show cause hearing for malicious damage regarding the Keurig. He did not seem fazed. So basically, that was his first charge. So he calls the cops. Dude calls the cops, and she gets him charged for the Keurig. And so this is the world that her children are subjected to. Now, luckily, by this point, this is when the kids were still playing pickleball. Right? This is when, like, sometimes they were kicked out, and sometimes they weren't. Sometimes they were living in foster homes, and sometimes they weren't, because this is what was going on at home. Constant police calling, constant 209As. This is 2016. It's not ancient history. All right, next incident. This is 2017, and I believe this is a more serious charge. Let's see what this charge is. I'm going to bring up my district court because it's hard to keep this all in order. Andrew Johnson, Attleboro District Court. Johnson, Andrew. Yeah, this is the 2017. Okay, so this is assault and battery on a family member. Nice. Okay, so this is his first A and B on a family member. Okay, this officer, Elliott, along with McMahon, was dispatched to Avery Street for a male waiting outside to report a domestic. So he calls. He always calls. Upon arrival, I located Andrew, but noticed a female exit the first floor apartment crying. I entered her apartment with her. She told me that Andrew had just kicked in her door, pushed her, and then smashed her cell phone when she attempted to call the police. Catherine told me that Andrew left the area in a red Pontiac, but didn't know where he would be going. I asked her to tell me what happened in detail. She said she and Andrew used to date, and he has items left at the apartment from when he lived with her. This is like, I think 4 months after the last time. Andrew called and insisted on coming over to retrieve his belongings. When he arrived, Catherine refused to let him inside of the apartment, so he started banging on the door. Catherine told him several times to stop, but he continued, then kicked the door, forcing it open and breaking the wooden casing around the door. Once inside of the house, and during the argument, Andrew pushed Catherine. She then attempted to call the police, but Andrew grabbed the phone, threw it to the floor, smashing it, making it impossible to use. Now, I believe that did happen. I do believe that happened simply based, I wasn't sure before, But now that I see how he behaved toward the court, like he's just an impulsive ogre. There's no other way around it. He has no self-control. He's an animal. Andrew left the apartment and Catherine pushed the refrigerator against it. So Andrew could not enter. Catherine said Andrew then kicked in the front door before telling her he was going to call the police and tell them she was at fault. That's when Andrew went outside and called the police, but left before we arrived. At this point, I looked out the window and noticed a male standing beside a red Pontiac. I asked Catherine if that was Andrew. She looked out the window and became visibly upset and begged me not to let him in the house. Catherine told me she was very afraid of Andrew, yet she's still with him. I advised the station of Andrew's return and walked out to speak with him. I asked him if he was the one who called the police, and he said yes. He said he didn't mean to call him, was just bluffing. I asked him why he left after calling us, and he said he just wanted to go for a ride and have a cigarette. At this time, other lieutenants arrived. I asked Andrew what happened today. Let me make sure we can read this. What happened today? Andrew said he came over to get the last of his stuff and was left after he moved out. Andrew told me he and Catherine started arguing and yelling at each other. I asked Andrew what happened to Catherine's cell phone, and he told me she broke it the other day. I told him she claimed he took it from her and threw it to the ground. He denied this claim. I asked what happened to the back door. He said it was old damage and did not happen today. I asked why there were small pieces of wood on the kitchen floor of the doors were broken the other day. If the doors were broken the other day, he didn't respond to my question. He denied pushing or having any physical contact with Catherine. I then advised Andrew that based on the statement from Catherine and the evidence inside the house, I was going to place him under arrest for domestic assault and battery. He was patted down and placed under arrest without incident. I walked him to the car and secured him in the rear seat. At the station, I parked my vehicle outside of Bay 1 and opened the rear door for Andrew. I told Andrew to watch his head while getting out. He turned and put both feet on the ground, and I was just about to assist him when he fell to the ground. He kept saying, ouch, ouch, ouch. When I asked what he hurt, he could not tell me right away. I asked why he fell to the ground, and he said I must have slipped somehow. Once inside the booking area, he started complaining about how much pain he was in. I took the handcuffs off, and Andrew was bent over and holding his arm. I asked what hurt, and he said his bicep. He said he couldn't move his arm and wanted to go to the hospital. North Attleboro Rescue took him there while shackled and being placed on the stretcher. Yikes. Andrew was examined, x-rayed, and released, and the doctor told him that he could not see anything wrong because he was faking it. He was transported back to the station and read all his rights. He was photographed, fingerprinted, possessed before using the cell phone and being placed in the booking cell. I served him with the 209A. So she got another 209A on this guy. So there. So he was charged that day with domestic assault and battery. Like he literally kicked in their freaking doors and shit. Intimidation of a witness. And malicious destruction of property over 250. Now notice no mention of children in this. That's because at this time she did not have custody of her kids. Okay. So this is one of the times, luckily the kids weren't around. So luckily they didn't have to witness that, but they had to witness a lot of other shit. So let's go to the next incident, which took place in, let me get the next. It's so okay. The next one is in April of 2018. Let's jump to that one. Now she's going to kick it up. So this is what, how many incidents now? 3 violent incidents going on in the house. Cops are called. 1 arrest. You might want to get rid of this guy, you know, if you're serious about getting your kids back, but nope. She doesn't do that. So let's see what happens here. Okie dokie. Can you guys read that? Or is that not big enough? It looks big enough. Okay. So this is on. Let me see if I can make that bigger. There we go. All right. April 25th, 2018. Officer Lowe was assigned to the desk when a female came into the front lobby asking to speak with an officer. I stepped out front and immediately observed a large bump on her forehead. She stated that this morning her boyfriend smashed her head against the counter. Lovely. She told him to leave and not return, but he just returned tonight at 10:30. She told him to leave again or she would call the cops. He stated to call the police, so she left to come to the police because she feared he would hurt her again if she stayed and called us from home. Her friend was present and drove her to the station. Catherine Peters stated that around 6:30 this morning, she was walking to her children's bedroom to wake them up when she tripped over her boyfriend's dog. Her boyfriend is identified as Andrew Johnson. She stated that the dog yelped and Andrew got angry, and they started to argue over tripping over the dog when Andrew grabbed her by the head and smashed her head against the counter while the children are in the house before they've even woken up. Okay. Catherine stated that she was in and out of her residence all day. However, around 5 p.m., her two children stated that Andrew had come home, grabbed something, and left. That is when she located a note left in the kitchen from Andrew. She did not want to keep the note. In the note, he wrote, "I apologize for grabbing you. Sorry your head hit the trash barrel up on the counter. I thought I was protecting the dog in a split second of panic. Sorry about smashing your head into the kitchen counter. I'm really sorry about that. I'm sorry that your head hit a North Attleboro love story for sure. Definitely." Anyway, Catherine stated that Andrew had been acting bizarre lately. She stated that he had been taking prescription pills. She always blames it on the drugs, which is probably true. I know we're back here, actually. Catherine stated that she was in and out of her residence all day. Oh, no, we read that part. Okay. He made reference that he would not be arrested and he wouldn't be questioned because, quote, "I'd rather be dead." That's normal. Yeah, it's normal. It was after she found the note that she called her friend who purchased new locks for the doors. Andrew could not return. Okay. I just don't want to make sure I'm missing anything. I'm getting like texts. I'm not really going to be reading. Don't message me. Okay. So I apologize for grabbing me. It was after she found the note that she called her friend and purchased new locks, blah, blah. Catherine stated that Andrew had been acting bizarre lately. She stated that he had been taking prescription pills, what she believes to be amphetamines. She stated that he used to abuse heroin, and this type of behavior is indicative to him using some type of drug. She stated that there was an issue with money the other day in regards to him purchasing car parts, and Catherine wanted a receipt. However, he was unable to provide a receipt and asked her for money, which she stated is unusual since he's employed as a plumber. The officers responded to the front lot to obtain the house key in the event the door was locked. All these cops responded to the residence to speak with Andrew. He was no longer at the residence. He was not in the driveway. The car was not in the driveway. Dispatch called and put out a bolo for his vehicle. She stated that he frequents parking lots as he does not have many friends and does not talk with his brother that lives in Attleboro anymore. Andrew has a brother and a sister. The sister fostered her children for quite some time. And basically, Kate basically gave him an ultimate, has kind of come between them. And she did the same thing with Stephen Young's family, the same thing with Rick Kelly's family. She isolates men from their families. This is one pattern I've seen with this. And she did it with him. I've spoken to Andrew Johnson's sister before. She's well aware of all this stuff. They want nothing to do with it. Like, it's very sad, but they're not related to the children. So it's just sad to see their brother go through this, but their brother's a piece of shit anyway. Officer Curran, let's see. At the time the bolo was sent out, it was believed that Andrew was suicidal. Okay. Let's see where to go. Actually, the friend went to the residence to stay with Catherine's two children. At the time the bolo was sent out, it was believed Andrew was suicidal since Catherine interpreted the note as that. Sergeant Folan responded to the house and retrieved the note, which does not detect any threat of suicide or naming himself. Like, what? How is it suicide? Catherine's friend responded from the station to Avery Street to watch the children and bring the car keys to Catherine's vehicle where she left the note. Andrew is not the biological father of her two children. However, they have been in a substantial dating relationship for the past 7 years. So you're right. Natasha Gomez would know better than anyone. 7 years. So go back to 2011 and refer to him as dad, which is just sad. Catherine stated he has no custody of the kids at all. They are 9 and 12. I contacted North Attleboro Fire Department for an evaluation. She stated that the bump on her head has not gone down, and during the day, she did feel nausea at one point. When I asked if she lost consciousness, she stated no, refused transport to the hospital, and eventually, how does this end here? Right here. Catherine stated she did want to apply for an emergency restraining order. Contacted the judge. I mean, how many orders is this? Every one of these reports with an order. She stated she would be unable to make it to court tomorrow since she had to work, so I advised the judge of this. He stated that she wanted to extend the order to come back, and he was on call tomorrow. He stated that she would have to go to the district court after tomorrow if granted. I attempted to call Andrew, but his cell phone was turned off. A 51A was filed. That would be DCF paperwork. See attached witness statement, and all this other stuff. Due to Andrew grabbing her, he's being assault and battery with a dangerous weapon, the counter, I believe. The counter. So that was that report. And this is the copy. I'll show you a copy of the order that she has here. Nope, that's not it. So there was actually over here. Yeah, so this is it. This is reasons for ordering bail. This is the bail form on this. And as you can see here, $10,000 surety. That's a pretty high bail for this because of the nature of the circumstances, the penalty, his record of convictions, this failure to appear at court, proceeding to answer to an offense, the fact that the defendant's alleged acts involve abuse, and the defendant's status on bail pending adjudication. So yeah, same victim from previous ones, basically. So they're like, this guy's a piece of shit, but yet she keeps him around, and that's her choice. She chose to keep this guy around. He's a bad dude, but she's like, you know what? I really don't give a shit about my kids or their well-being or anything like that. I'm going to keep this dangerous, violent felon around. So let's go on to the next one. The next incident happens. Where'd it go? Let me pull it up here. There's so many freaking incidents. Let me get the one from 2000 and actually I got it over here. One sec. This is the worst one. The next one you're going to read is the worst one. So buckle up. Okay. Here we go. By the way, let me see. I just want to check the donos, see if we have any turtle chats. Do have a couple turtle chats here. Before we bring that up, let's bring this one up first. First one is from Sexy Susie, sends $75 in the donos and says, shout out to all the women and men who put their children first. Absolutely. When you read about stuff like this, you're like, geez, thank God I had normal parents who actually gave a shit about me. Thank you, Susie. Also, Sexy Susie sends $5 and said, if Kate is on Section 8, she would not qualify with Andrew's income. She's also committing frauds. Interesting. Now, I don't know for sure she's on Section 8. I just assume she's on some sort of government, whatever. But we'll see. Okay. So thank you. If anyone else wants to donate, the link is at the top. You can do it that way. You get to write a message. I bring it up. I share it with the class, and we all get to read. Okay. So let's read this next one this is September 28th, 2021. Now, this is interesting because of the timing of this. Okay. Now, I remember well, September 12th, 2021 is when the infamous Turtleboy videos came out. And that sucked. But they didn't start. I think she did a show talking about it on September 24th, I want to say, around there. And just judging me and you're a horrible father because you masturbate and all this stuff. And I bring that up because like all this judgment towards another person. And this is what she was doing during that time. This is what was happening in Kate's home. This is the first time reading this. This is the report she did not want anyone to see because it is horrifying. Let's read it. Okay. So at approximately, Officer Chamberlain responded to the North Attleboro Police Department lobby to speak with a female party. I met with the juvenile female, Teresa Kelly, and her mother's boyfriend of approximately 10 years, Andrew Johnson. Kelly stated that she was not comfortable speaking in front of Johnson, so I escorted her to the public interview room to speak with her. Upon entering the room, I asked Kelly if her mother or any other interested adults were available to respond to the North Attleboro Police Department so that I could speak with her in their presence. Kelly stated no. However, said her mother was at work and provided her cell phone number so that I could call her. I then spoke with Peter, who stated that she was coming from Bridgewater and would respond to the police station to speak with me and her daughter. I then returned to Kelly and allowed her to use the phone in the interview room so that she could speak with her mom on the phone. After allowing Kelly to utilize the phone, I met with Johnson and I spoke with him briefly. In his witness statement, Johnson stated that in his attempt to locate a short circuit in the electrical, living room, and Teresa's bedroom, Johnson located, quote, enormous amounts of meds. She must be cheering. I don't know what that's a typo of. A bong and electrical wire stripped to ignite weed vape. Johnson stated that she came home. He confirmed her about it. She lied, and he told her to leave her bedroom door open. So he finds drugs in her room. Johnson stated that Kelly shut the door and he opened it before she shut it again. Johnson stated, so again, this is like, okay, so let's stop right here. So I understand this is a tough age, right? This girl did not get this way. She's a victim. This girl was born completely innocent. And if she grew up in a normal household, like, mine, she would be fine. Or most of you out there listening right now, if she grew up in your home, she would be fine. This is what breaks my heart about this stuff is that, like, you're fucked if you're born in the wrong family. You're completely fucked. And so this girl was neglected and probably, poor fucking girl. I really, and she's apparently hiding drugs from them. And this guy finds it. Now, keep in mind, you're not the father, Andrew Johnson. You're not the dad. You've made no attempt to adopt them or have custody or anything like that. You're not married, or like obviously you guys aren't, like, your relationship. You guys get in domestics all the time and just break up and whatever. Like, this is not stable. Nothing about this is stable. So you're not the dad, really. You're the guy who's there sometimes and fights with mom, and you're whatever. You give us rides and. That's really about it. So in this case, if a 15-year-old girl is exhibiting oppositional defiance like this, just let it be. Just let it be. Like, don't escalate it. But as you saw in court that day with me, that's the only thing he knows how to do. That's the only thing he knows how to do. And this is what ends up happening. So, so they start shutting the door. He opens it. She shuts it again. Johnson stated that he told her he would remove the door from the hinges. Kelly shut the door again and stated she was changing her shirt. So leave her be, dude. She's changing her shirt. Johnson stated that he told Kelly to step in the bathroom. He stated that while unscrewing the hinges, Kelly walked past him and elbowed him in the face, which he believes broke a tooth. Johnson stated that when Kelly elbowed him, they both fell to the ground somehow. Like, what? So the girl elbows him and they both fall, where Kelly punched and kicked him in the face and stomach, using her legs to push off and get him to stop restraining her. Johnson stated that he let go when she stopped fighting. So he's like physically restraining her now. He stated that he went back to doing the dishes and heard Kelly leave through the front door, so he followed her. He stated, because I didn't want her to run off with her friends and smoke pot, and 2, she has a history of running off and putting herself in serious danger. This is the Summer, I believe, she had been missing twice by then, I believe. Twice. There were alerts put out for her. She was just missing for like a week. That's just normal for Kate. Kate did this, by the way. This girl is a product of Kate's parenting. Johnson stated that he followed Kelly walking up South Washington Street. So he starts stalking her, following her. Johnson stated that just before CVS, Kelly stopped, turned around, and stated, quote, "I'm going to tell you how this is going to go." This sounds just like Kate. "You're going to stop following me and let me walk and cool off for 20 minutes. That's fair, actually, I believe. Or I'm going to go to the police station and tell them that you touched my private parts," while grabbing her chest. This is normal. Johnson stated, "Let's just go to the police station and they'll figure out who is telling the truth when they investigate it." Jesus Christ. Johnson stated that Kelly responded with, "Okay, you better swallow your pride, Andy." I thought they called him Dad. "Because if we pass Eddy Street, I'm telling you, and you'll be a fucking pedophile and registered sex offender." So when I read that, dude, like that is learned behavior right there. I think she was either 14 or 15 when this happened. And you're like devious. Like you're telling this guy, like, "I'm going to make up a lie that you sexually assaulted me if you don't leave me alone." He should leave her alone anyway. Like, just let it go, dude. But talk about dysfunction in this house. And this is the woman who was judging my home and your home. And I mean, how many people out there have been judged by this person? And Chili DeCastro, I don't know fuck shit about Chili DeCastro's life. It ain't this dysfunctional. It ain't. Cyrax is retarded. What's your excuse? Like, what is happening right now? Yeah. So it goes on. So, let's see. Shortly after retrieving the statement from Johnson, Peter arrived. I spoke briefly with Peter regarding what she was aware of and brought her to the interview room where Kelly was. Following this, I responded outside and asked Johnson to come speak with me and Detective McCune regarding the incident prior to speaking with Peter and Kelly. Upon entering the detective's interview room and conducting a recorded interview and being advised of his Miranda rights, Johnson stated he did not want to speak with officers, and the interview was concluded, with Johnson escorted to the front lobby. I then retrieved Peter and Kelly and asked them to speak with me and Detective McCune in the detective's interview. McCune advised Kelly of her Miranda rights in the presence of Peter, and Peter signed the Miranda form. Kelly was then asked to recount what occurred. So this is her version of the story that prompted her arrival at the station earlier in the day. She stated that upon her return from school, her and Johnson began to argue. Kelly stated that Johnson, quote, came all up in my face and shit with his cracked out eyes, saying, "What are you going to do? Hit me?" Or words to that effect. Kelly then went on to state that she said if he hurt her, she would stab him. Kelly states that he then stated something. This is where it gets interesting. To her, such as, "Is that so?" And he handed her a knife from the kitchen. So this is her version of this. He didn't mention any knife in his story. So he hands her, and he's like, he's got the cracked out eyes, which I believe. And like, if you wanna, I'm gonna like, are you gonna stab me? And he's like, "Oh, you want to?" So he hands her a fucking knife. It's like, dude, do not give a fucking angry teenage girl a knife in the heat of a moment. Like, what? This is so fucking dangerous. You know what could go wrong here? What if she stabbed you? Her life is fucking ruined. And you provoked it. What if she gets hurt accidentally in this? He's literally retarded. Literally retarded. And like Natasha said, never had a hope of not turning out like this. Like, this was predestined to be like this. It goes on. Kelly stated that Johnson held the handle of the blade. So he's holding the blade for some reason. And she had her hand. Oh, so he's got the handle, and she had her hand on the blade. And he was holding her hand there. Okay? So he's holding her hand on the blade. Kelly stated that Johnson stated if she did not let go of the knife, he would slide it while she held it, which would obviously slice her hand. Why is there a fucking knife involved here? Stated that Johnson was holding her hand to the blade and that he had cut her. Kelly showed officers a minuscule cut on her hand, which upon viewing it seemed to be a very superficial cut, which in that lighting did not appear. Have I been muted this whole time? Was I muted there? I just had to unmute myself. Hold on. Let me turn this one on. Is that better? Okay. Let me just reiterate that, like what happened here. So she's alleging that he's holding one end of the knife and being like, you want to touch? Fine. Like, move you, like, let go, or I'm going to fucking move it and it's going to cut you. And she's alleged to get cut, but the hand cut is not consistent with what would have happened if he actually sliced her. So that's a lie. So she's lying about that, or at least she's exaggerating it. She learns from the master, right? She learns from mom, who fucking does this better than anyone. But definitely the knife thing clearly happened. It just didn't end up with her getting cut. There should have never been a knife involved at all, and he got the knife. Kelly then stated that she went to her room following this, stating that she wished to put on a bra. So he said this too. Kelly stated that she closed the door and Johnson opened it, stating she believed he may have thought she was going to do something bad. Kelly stated that she was going to change her shirt, which Johnson responded with, "Go change in the bathroom." He stated that she closed the door and Johnson opened it again after. Kelly stated following this, Johnson stated, "Do you want your door taken off?" And Kelly responded with, "Do it." Kelly stated that he then took the door off. While doing this, was taking up most of the doorway. Kelly stated that while trying to exit the room, she brushed by and shoved Johnson, stating it was not on purpose, and that Johnson got up in her face again. Like, dude, just de-escalate. Walk away. You're like, dude, pro tip from all this, dude, like, just walk away. Like, yeah, no wonder she runs away. Like, imagine this is your home. This is not normal. Just walk away. Let her walk away. Let her cool off, dude. Chill the fuck out. So, upon her return to the room, she stated that she said, "Excuse me, Lord Andy," while entering the room. She did not recall what prompted the following argument. However, she stated that she and Johnson began arguing again. She stated that she began wrestling with Johnson as she shoved her, and she began to shove him back. I mean, Jesus Christ, why are you shoving a child? Kelly stated that they ended up on the ground between her dresser and bed, and that Johnson had her pinned to the ground. He stated that she began grabbing at his face and trying to get him off of her. She stated that she told Johnson she was not scared of him. However, he responded with, quote, "You know that feeling in the back of your throat? You are scared of me," or words to that effect. Now, why I believe that. Why would she make that up? Maybe a stupid question. She then stated that Johnson continued to have. Oh, for fuck's sake. Hold on one sec. I just realized we lost. Why does that keep happening? Okay. Did you guys hear that part? I don't know how much I missed there. So basically where we are at here is that he had her pinned to the ground, which they both said in their statements. And that, what are you going to do? Tackle me? She goes, Kelly then stated that Johnson continued to have her pinned to the ground before picking her up by her shirt and dragging her across the room. Jesus Christ. And that eventually Johnson got off of her and let her go. Kelly stated that she tried to walk out of the house and Johnson started following her. So she stated, what are you going to do? Tackle me? Which he responded, I guess. Okay. She stated that she got to South Washington and began walking, stating she was stubborn and would make Johnson follow her all night. Kelly stated that upon reaching Eddy Street, she told Johnson to swallow his pride and return to the house, and that she would return. However, she did not want to be around him, and that she would go to the police station and report what happened. When asked if there was a history of Johnson assaulting Kelly, which she stated no, and went on to state that she doesn't want men to think that they can put hands on her. She doesn't want men to think that they can put hands on her. What an adult thing to say. I thought that was odd when I first read that. That sounds like something Kate would say. When asked about the wires, Kelly stated that she stripped them so that she could smoke her weed carton. Again, 14 years old. Mom lets it happen. When asked if anyone else was in the home during this incident, she stated that her son, Stephen, was. Kate said that her son was. However, Kelly disagreed that he did not see any of the first incident, nor was he present for the second. Kelly stated that Stephen was walking up the stairs while she was exiting the residence. Peter stated that he had called her asking to go to the park at approximately 4:18 and did not state to her that any disturbance had happened. Peter stated that there were cameras at the residence, however, she did not have access to them. Okay. After inspecting the cut on Kelly's hand, she stated that it was a kitchen knife from the knife holder that they have and described it as one with a wooden handle. So after inspecting the cut on Kelly's hand, she stated that it was a kitchen knife from the knife holder they have and described it as one with a wooden handle. So nobody denies the knife. Like the knife, to me, the fact that a knife is involved in this is the most dangerous and insane part about this. After completing the recorded interview, I spoke with Sergeant Curran, and it was determined that Johnson was the principal aggressor in this incident, as he is a 37-year-old male, substantially larger than Kelly, who is a juvenile female, as well as based off statements made by both individuals. When we went back to Avery Street, officers knocked on the door, and it was opened by her son, who asked to speak. Officers asked to speak with Johnson. Johnson came to the door and initially refused to step out and speak with us. However, after speaking with him further, he eventually exited the apartment and was placed under arrest he was placed under arrest. Upon arrival at the station, he was read all his rights and fingerprinted and booked. Sergeant Curran asked Johnson if he had any medical issues that officers needed to know about, and he stated that he injured his tooth. When asked if he wished to be evaluated, he declined. The clerk was notified and set bail at $1,000. During a cell check, I observed him sitting forward, holding his face, and asked him if he was okay and if he needed medical attention. He stated that his tooth hurt and again denied wishing to be evaluated. A 209A was once again completed with Peter on the behalf of Kelly. So the daughter got an order of protection against this monster in September of 2021. But yet he still lives there. He was back in no time. He didn't go anywhere. Like the daughter has an order of protection and she moves him back in. Why? Because she calls her daughter a liar. A 51A was filed with DCF as a result of the incident. Upon speaking with Sergeant Curran regarding the charges, it was determined that a threat to commit a crime, as well as assault and battery with a dangerous weapon, were to be added. The clerk was notified and kept the bail the same. I will be following up on the next tour. Okay. So he's charged. I mean, that's a serious fucking crime. This is a felony he's being charged with here. Orders were in place over this. Not a good incident all around. Okay. Order of pretrial conditions. Let me bring this up for this one. So yeah, there was just, an order to stay away from the plaintiff I'm looking at right here. I guess I don't really need to show that. Okay. So that's that incident. Now let's go to the 2022 incident. So literally 3 months later, Andrew Johnson's back in the house like none of this happened. Back in the house. And let's read what happens then. Shall we? By the way, let me show you the sentencing that he got for the 2018 incident. Like this escalates over time. The 2018 incident was when he smashed her head into the whatchamacallit, when he smashed her head into the counter. I don't know if you guys can read this. But his sentence is listed right there. He got 9 months in the House of Correction, suspended sentence, and 18 months probation. That was his sentence. So this is in 2018. So his probation would end in 2020. Luckily for him, the next incident did not happen until 2021, so he's no longer on probation, but he did get a 9-month suspended jail sentence for this. So that was his punishment for that. Now, I found this piece of document interesting that he asked for. Let me show you this one. This was his attorney filing in Bristol Bristol Superior Court, Attleboro District Court, rather. The defendant moves he requests that the Criminal History Systems Board, the Commissioner of Probation, be ordered to provide with the complete criminal history, including juvenile chins and restraining order entries of those witnesses, Catherine Peter. So there's a reason he's asking, his attorney was asking for all of her criminal records because they know there's shit in there too. They know there's shit in there too. So now let us go to the 2022 incident, shall we? Okay, here we go. So this is on February 10th, 2022. And if you want to have fun, just go back and look at the court. Go back and look on Masshole Report or whatever Troll Mafia it's called now. Just go and look at the dates of videos and compare it to the dates of these. And just understand that like what you're seeing on there is fake. Like it's like, this is what's really happening in her home. And then she's going on there and being like, here we are. We're a happy family. Hi, kids. You guys have a good, you guys eat. Your friends need some snacks. Needs you some food. Okay. So this is 2022, February 9th. Upon arriving, I spoke with Catherine Peter, who stated that her boyfriend, Andrew Johnson, had a verbal argument in their bedroom at 8 o'clock in the morning. At the end of the argument, Peter told Johnson to leave the home. Johnson got out of his bed in an aggressive manner and grabbed her with both hands on both of her arms and slammed her against the wall in front of her son. Stop right there. So the guy, like you're doing this in front of a kid. That poor kid in particular has seen it all. That was the kid that had to be sent to an institution for mental health because of what he witnessed his birth father, his sperm donor, do to her in Taunton back when they lived there. That was in the newspaper. He used to beat the shit out of her. Again, I don't know how much she provoked of all this, but I don't really care about her white trash relationships with junkies. Like that doesn't bother me. What bothers me is the fact that she is subjecting children to this who are now being normalized to this behavior, who will grow up to think that this is how, like, kids model their parents, how they behave and how they act. So, I mean, the daughter, as you can clearly see, is already learning from Kate, like with the I'm going to say you touched me. Like, that's diabolical. You're 14. Okay. But then the son, who is completely innocent in all of this too, this is what he thinks men do. Like, this is serious psychological damage. Serious psychological damage that they're doing. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying with Merb. Like, I showed Merb this and he's just like, I don't want to, Turtleboy's an asshole. Why is he bringing this up? It's like, dude, Merb is, I don't understand that, man. Like, you're a family attorney, right? Like, you do family law shit. Like, you think this is like, you are choosing to be friends with this person. Me letting you know about this is a favor to you, my dude. You're a well-respected attorney in the Sacramento area, and you're online associating with this person. This is what she's doing, dude. Who would ever want to hire you as an attorney if this is who you associate with? This is who you choose to be friends with in your spare time? Are you kidding me? But I digress. To me, that's bizarre. Okay. So let's get back to this. So it goes on to say that Johnson got out of his bed in an aggressive manner, grabbed her and slammed her in front of her son. Peter told Johnson that he could be arrested for attacking her, and he laughed at her and left the home. Peters decided to come to the station and report this after talking to her family's social worker, Kylie Ouellette. Stop right there. Social worker. So she just has a social worker on speed dial, but she told us, how many times has she told us, I don't have DCF involvement in my life. I don't have a caseworker. I don't have anything like that. She has a social worker on speed dial. She's always had an active case with the Department of Child and Family Services. You know why? Because I called there. I called Taunton DCF on Monday, and I had a very long discussion, and I sent all of this to them. I sent it all to them. I sent video of her boyfriend. I'm like, she probably told you guys that he's not around. Here he is. Here they are driving in together. I told him that. I did that. She's trying to get me for bullshit wiretapping charges, which is hilarious. Meanwhile, this is an actual serious crime involving children. Maybe you shouldn't judge other people about wiretapping. Insane. I think you're right about that, Bob. She only did it because she knew her son would tell. So, goes on to say, Catherine Peter was explained their 209A rights, which I think she knows those by now, and decided to apply for a restraining order. There were no visible marks on her arms at this time. She then left the station to go to the Attleboro courthouse. I was informed by Sandra Bateman, the school counselor, who filed a 51A by Ouellette, so DCF involvement again, who stated, quote, that Young does not feel safe going back to the home. Stop right there. Stop right there. That's all I needed to hear. The 13-year-old child tells his guidance counselor, I don't feel safe going back to the home if that man is there. If that man that beats up my mom is there. As soon as you hear that, your child feels unsafe in the home with this man around. That's the end of that relationship forever. She has accused her daughter of lying. Is she accusing her son of lying too? Is he lying when he says he's afraid? I mean, what kind of mother doesn't protect their children? If your child says that they are afraid to go home because this monster is there, you get rid of the monster. That's what you do. Not Kate. She keeps him around. For what reason, I don't know. But she keeps him around. Maybe she just likes to have a guy to fix shit. I don't know. But she keeps him around, despite how abusive he is. So, Peters plans to go to the middle school to pick up Young after she gets the 209A and take him to work until she can find a safe living place or Johnson is arrested. Johnson has an open case from 9/28 for assault and battery with a dangerous weapon and threatening. So he's charged with domestic assault and battery, subsequent. He intentionally touched a family member who he lives with without having any right or excuse to do so without the consent of the person. Reason for subsequent offense, Andrew has a conviction for the same offense in Attleboro District of Courts. This is a convicted batterer that she chooses to keep around. Wild. So let me show you some more documentation on this one. Documentation, that's her favorite word, isn't it? Let's check out the reasons for ordering bail on this one. So this is to make refrain from abuse or harassment of the complainant. Oh no, this is the 2021. Sorry, it's the wrong document. There's so many freaking documents. Here it is. Now, what's this one? That's different. So different. His history of abuse. There's so many freaking documents here. Reasons for ordering bail. Order of pretrial conditions. Let me see this one. Here it is. Here's the one I'm looking for. This is voluminous, Mr. Chu. You're right about that. It's rather voluminous. So here we have it. This is Andrew Johnson is to have no contact, direct or indirect, with Catherine Peter. This is an order. So there we go. I don't know how long this order is in effect. Typically, it's 1 year. But we saw them at court together, didn't we? We saw them out on New Year's Eve together, didn't we? Just violating that order like nothing, like it wasn't no thing. Now let's go and look at some fun screenshots that we got here, shall we, over the years of things that she has said about this relationship. Give me one moment to pull them up, if I may. There's so many, for crying out loud. Okay. All right. Let's look at a random collection of screenshots that we got here. All right. So this is her talking about the incident that we all just read about. This is her version of it. It's fine. She had a confrontation with her stepfather. It's not her stepfather. A couple of years ago. A confrontation involving a knife, involving a wrestling match, involving being pinned down to the ground, involving doors coming off the hinges, involving tooths coming out, involving an arrest for a felony that he's still in court for. They had court for this on December 30th. It's fine. She has a confrontation with her stepfather a couple of years ago, and she's worried about some kind of the details coming out. No, she's worried about it. Not the daughter's not worried about it, Kate. You're worried about it. You don't want this coming out because this shows Kate's whole thing is, well, I used to be a ratchet. That's all. I'm reformed now and I got my life together and things are fine. No, it's actually worse than it was before. Your life is actually worse than it was before because now your kids are getting older and they're developing their own personalities and it's turning into a fucking zoo. If she loved her kids, which she doesn't, she would quit YouTube and she would fucking do this, but she doesn't love them. She's much more interested in me, much more obsessed with me than she ever will be with her children. After a couple years ago, she's worried about some of them coming out because she kind of attacked him. She attacked him. Imagine that. Your daughter gets in a violent incident with your boyfriend and you blame her. Like, what kind of mother does that? And told a silly lie to the police, a silly lie about a fucking knife. What? As part of the report that they noted wasn't consistent. She had an episode. She wasn't arrested. He was. Well, he arrested. And at the same time, she was having an episode and not really in control of herself. As I recall, a lot of the details didn't make it onto the report because her stepfather didn't want to see her get arrested. Oh, right. Because Andy's such a noble guy. He abuses her. Well, Andy's the victim here. And not only is the victim, he didn't tell the police all the horrible things this 14-year-old child did to him. because he didn't want to get her arrested. Keep in mind, let's also forget in November, I didn't even post this one because it involved juveniles. In November of 2020, Kate called the cops on her daughter on Thanksgiving. No, apologize. The day before Thanksgiving. After the two of them got in a fist fight. And the daughter spent Thanksgiving in juvie. Nice. As I recall, I mean, this is the thing. It's like, if this is true, if this girl really has severe mental health issues and needs it, you need to quit everything. You need to just fucking quit. There should be no fucking distractions in your life. It should be every waking moment should be dedicated to this girl and getting her the help she needs. That's what I would do if my kid ended up like this. But as I recall, a lot of the details didn't make it in the report. She had recently been arrested for assaulting me and then her brother. It's like her ability to just throw this girl into the bus is wild. She's just young and doesn't want her business out there. Not much we can do now, though. Like, it's my fault for posting a fucking police report. How about this? I mean, I found so many of her old Facebook posts. Look at this one. Notice if you recognize any names from here. I hate drugs, she says. This is 2016. And her first incident was right around, this was like when Andy was wilding out and he hadn't been arrested yet. I don't think. Remember Jade? That's the girl that she pimped out. That's the girl that she pimped out. That she was her sponsor in AA, and she pimped Jade out online, and they would have Johns come, and then when the Johns would get there, she wouldn't have sex with them. They would blackmail them, and they would say, "We're going to tell everyone who you are unless you give us money right now." So that's Jade. Keep your head up. I promise I'll always be here to support you. No, you're not. I'm stronger in my sobriety for this because God has given me closure lately. Natasha Gomez, you're right there. I will call you guys in a bit. Please just pray. Remember, Natasha was the one that married her friend Eli, and Kate was the best man in their wedding. I'm not kidding about that either. Here, I mean, look at this lovely couple. There's a couple for you. Or how about this one? This is in December of 2012. So you're right. This is when must have been when they first started dating. As you get, I mean, look at this guy. What a couple. Look at his eyes. Look at his eyes. Look at that. He can't even keep them open. That poor kid right there is one of the two that luckily got away. It's one of the lucky ones. And this is when they had all been taken from her in, this is after that incident with in June of 2012, when they were all taken from her after the retard video that I showed you at the beginning. This is when she was trying to get him back. So this is on like a visit, and they were living at, I believe, Stephen Young's sister's house. There were so many houses that they lived in. And she wanted, like, she's like, I just gave him away. No, you tried getting him back. You had visits and stuff like that. But after a while, you insisted on this guy being around. You insisted on Andrew Johnson. Like, oh, look, I'm reformed now. I'm with this guy. This guy's clean. Yeah. You can trust me. Yeah, totally. We're in love. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh, true love. Look at that. Oh, yikes. Yikes. What do we got here? This is a really old post. This is 2010. If the gays really want to win over the hearts and minds of America, they should start taking babies from those teen mom kids. And I'm not even kidding about adoption. I'm talking about running up, throwing sequins in their face. I don't even know how to pronounce that. Then straight snatching the kid. Even the most homophobic Christians would give them a medal. You done queer good. You done good. So this is 2010 when she's literally the worst mother and had no custody of her kids. And she's still judging teen moms on TV. Like, it's just insane. Her ability to judge other people despite being worse than all of them. This is from 2014. I could really go on and on. My new neighborhood bothers the heck out of me. The way the children are raised around here. Imagine saying that. The way the children are raised around here. You're Kate Peter. You're like the poster child for the worst raised children ever. And you're sitting here on Facebook, ironically talking about other people's parenting skills. Wild. I could really go on and on. My new neighborhood bothers the heck out of me. The way children are raised here. I'm certainly not the perfect, faultless mother by any stretch. No, you're not. You're actually the worst. But young children using foul language. Oh, no, not foul language. The parents unemployed. Oh, yeah, you've never been unemployed before. And drinking and smoking pot openly in the middle of the day. Yeah, you've never done that. My tax dollar. Your tax dollars? What? Are you kidding? Your tax dollars? Oh, my God. My tax dollars pay for this appalling behavior. We have a church right on the corner, but not only can these people not get up and go to work, they don't get up on Sunday to go to church. Oh yeah, that's the problem. Taking prayer, the Pledge of Allegiance, and music and art are out of schools, handling welfare out to anyone with no incentive to work. This country needs Jesus, work ethic, and the kinds of social climate that fosters respect, responsibility, and dignity. Imagine writing those words. Imagine writing those words when you lost your kids. You abused and neglected them for years, and you're sitting on Facebook judging others. What's this one? Oh, by the way, so this is 6 years ago. She's posting this, and then there's this. This is her getting evicted. This is her first of many victims. This is when they were living in New Bedford. And she's sitting there judging like, oh my God, why can't you pay your bills? Bitch, you got evicted. What you talking about? That like literally a week later. Okay. Or how about this one? Is anyone in your household employed? Did you give up employment due to lack of affordable childcare or by conscious choice to enrich your children's upbringing? Are you up every morning before 9? Oh, 9. Do you clean, cook, and keep a schedule? If the answer to the above is no, you are not a housewife and mommy. You're just fucking unemployed and lazy. Get off my news feed with your usefulness. She sat there and just cast judgment about all these people while literally being the worst person on earth. So there's that. And by the way, I would like to point out that she has not done a live stream in weeks. And she knew this was coming and she is petrified of it. And the thing is, she wants to keep her cult going. So what does she do at 9 o'clock tonight? Schedules a stream. How about that? And she's just she's just praying that none of her people watch this. And she has literally brainwashed them into believing that that all the stuff you're seeing right now, all these screenshots, court documents, it's all fake. That's her explanation. It's all like I'm just doctoring it all. None of this is real, including the things her daughter says. None of this stuff is real. And she's just she knows that if she's broadcasting, all her cult followers should be over there. But there might be some that wander over here because they have a whole freaking channel in the Discord to watch me, watch Turtleboy. And she doesn't want that to happen. So that's why she's doing it right now. Of course, it's by design, obviously. And again, we've seen a lot of defectors. Like there was a guy by the name of Jim Walbert, who in the early days, he was like one of the right-hand guys, like soldier, like he was a wrench on there. I've seen him in the comments lately on our side. And he's like, I figured it out after a while. Jacob figured it out. There's been a lot of people who were brainwashed with this shit. And then they figured it out. They're like, wait a minute, this isn't adding up. All these fucking lies. Like, okay. So that's pretty hypocritical of her to say that. And look at this poor girl. She goes, sorry. What are you apologizing for? For answering no. Oops. Kate, be nice to her. So those are those ones. Let me, we got a bunch more here. Let me pull up some other screenshots that I found interesting running through this stuff. All right. This is in July of 2016, right around the time of those police reports that we read earlier. This is the day he blew up and called the police to have me removed from the house. But it's not about drugs, right? I am so angry and sad for what he is putting my kids through. I trusted him with my family. So she's sitting there like shitting on him. Definitely not a drug addict. Okay. Here she is in Discord, one of many times, saying that whoever pulled her probate records, me, is fucked. The courts can see who accessed the records through the attorney portal, and whoever was is connected to AK. It turns out they're not fucked. So this is everything she says is going to happen to me. Never happens to me. I don't know if they noticed that. Actually, want to see a funny one? Check this video out that I got here. We got all sorts of shit tonight. We're getting real creative here. I thought I was watching the settlement, but there's more than 30 viewers. I am coughing a lot. So this was in August of 2020. There was like a stream. Her friend Ashley here, she's a former turtle rider, kind of retarded, trashy girl. She had some sort of issue with a girl named Kate Batista, and they were going to have a debate on there. And Ashley was going to have me come up, so she gave me the stream, and I was sitting backstage, and she never called me up. So their stream ends, and she forgot I was there. And so Krusty Panties comes on, and Kate Batista's father committed suicide when she was a kid, 5 years old, shot himself in the head. This is what, and I taped what happened. There I am. I'm backstage. I can see what's happening. She forgot I was there. And this is what Kate says about Kate Batista's father killing himself.
Say, yep. Looking at these people, yeah. That's what it is. You can even hear it in her voice. I was in an abusive race. I didn't lose my kids. That's what I mean. Like, it's like that constant, like, I was in a bad spot, but not that bad. Like, it doesn't change your circumstances. I literally went like a normal conversation. Like, it was just not happening. Like, I thought she could, like, control herself, but obviously not. And then Aidan, I was on El Sancho's channel about things. Because Teresa, I love Teresa. She was on there. And we were kind of chatting about this. And Aidan found it immediately. Oh, Kate's in here talking about why she's friends with Gaffney in the lawsuit. I started crying at one point. I did because I just choked up when I was talking about how much it lost.
You couldn't hear anything. It's really low. It is. Actually, let me play this one. Let me see if you guys can.
About her dad and everything, but at the same time, like, what?
I apologize for the audio. It's just low. It's nothing I can do about it. Let me know if you can hear this.
Should we be talking shit about your dad because he left you for good, lady? He's never coming home.
She says about the girl whose father killed himself. Should we be talking about my parenting skills? Because your daddy killed himself and he left you for good. That's what she says. Like, at least, I'm not a bad, sure. I'm like she's literally judging a man who killed himself, who had mental illness and killed himself, and saying, well, I'm better than him because I didn't kill myself. I'm a good mom. Disgusting. But that's not the audio I wanted to show. And by the way, let's not forget this DCF document, which she claims is faked. She claims this is a Microsoft Word document. But as you can clearly see here, this is a picture of a computer screen. And if it was printed out, then there would be a record of who printed it out. But if you take a picture of a computer screen, there would be no record of it, would it? And it says, the department was awarded permanent custody for both children on September 25th, 2015. Reason for placement. They were initially removed from their parents' care due to deplorable home conditions in February of 2012. The parents also have a history of domestic violence and substance abuse. One of them was reunified with his mother on April 2014, and the other in March of 2015. They were removed again in 2015 due to the mother's relapse and mental health concerns. DCF placement history. One was initially placed in the kinship home of Mrs. Benoit. That would be Stephen Young's sister, Dana. And the other in a specialized foster home of Miss D. Monica Earls, the maternal grandmother, came forward and was approved of a kinship placement. And one was placed in her home on August 12th. The other was placed with Miss Earls on August 14th. In January of 2013, the maternal grandmother gave notice on both children, and they were placed in an emergency foster home. The following day, both kids were transitioned to the home of a Mr. and Mrs. K, a departmental foster home. Now, Kate says this is a fake document. So my question would be to her and all these people, if this is a fake document, how would I know Mrs. K is? How would I know that? How would I know what exact date Monica Earls, Kate's mother, got custody of? If this was fake, Kate would be able to say, well, no, my mom never had custody of her. Who the fuck is Mrs. K? None of this is true. But she knows it's real. She knows it's real. Now, there's no letterhead or anything on it because it's literally a picture of a computer screen. But it says that, where'd it go? Did I not zoom in on that? Excuse me. Sorry. The following day, both children were transitioned to Mrs. and Mrs. K, but one was removed on February of 2013 after Mrs. K observed him acting inappropriately with the other one. Take from that what you will. Foster parents felt she could not keep them safe as they were sharing a room. The son was placed at St. Vincent's Star program and remained there until September. So for 9 months, he was placed in a hospital. That this kid. And this is the poor kid she is now subjecting to domestic abuse in the home. Now, what's this video?
Yes, Aidan Kearney is being charged with a felony. Now, as a felon, if you are convicted of a felony.
So this is in August of 2020. She said, as I'm being convicted, I'm being charged with a felony. How many times have you heard her say, I'm going to be charged? And the way she says it so matter of fact, so like, this is definitely going to happen, makes her followers believe it is. But it never happens, guys. If you're watching this, it never fucking happens. I've never been charged with a crime. I never will be charged with a crime because I don't commit crimes. I don't get orders placed on me. That's not a thing. She does. She does commit everything she says I do. She actually does. But she says it so matter of factly and does not allow any sort of dissent in there. Here we go.
You can't vote. You can't leave the country. You can't possess firearms. There are a lot of restrictions placed on you, which seems like a very, very silly thing to give up because you are butthurt over somebody on the internet. So, I mean, that is what we're dealing with here. And this is extremely vindicating for me simply because I have put up with so much shit and I've had to do it and roll over and kind of take it lying down, right? Because I've just been dealing with constant character assaults. And that's what happens when you are honest, right? And you tell the truth about people and you try to shine some light on the darker things that are going on there as they attack you. So to get a little bit of vindication back is always invigorating, to say the least.
Good on you, Kat. Long time coming.
Whoever this guy is.
Well done.
Oh, look, Justin Emo Howlingwolf is on the chats, right? Is in the chat right now.
That's the fake one. You know how I know that's the fake one? Because this Justin Emo Howlingwolf can spell basic words. Yeah.
Oh.
Damn.
Yeah.
He's not ranting. He's not ranting.
Yeah. It's a little tough to rage, though, in, typing.
Oh, by the way, there's Jim Walbert in the top corner.
You can do it in all caps.
Caps.
Be effective.
We got, so I see at least one defector on here. Eventually, they all figure it out.
The real, emo knows how to do that.
Right.
I think so.
Yeah, probably not.
And someone's saying we're fighting against free speech. I don't claim to be a vehement proponent of the First.
Oh, she doesn't like the First Amendment. So there you go. I don't like the First Amendment. It's not good. But again, she says matter of fact, and listen to this one. Listen to how sure she is that I'm being charged with a felony. I think this is what, because the crime that she thought I was going to be charged with was wiretapping. Why? She's obsessed with wiretapping. because I taped my computer screen and that video you saw of them talking, saying horrible things about this woman's dad committing suicide. And she's like, that's wiretapping. It's like stupid. It's on. And I told the cops, I did speak with the Taunton police about this, and they questioned me about it. I'm like, I explained what StreamYard was. I'm like, it's literally a streaming service. They were streaming. They knew I was there. It could not be secretly recorded because you can see me on the screen, and they both use it frequently. They knew I was there. Maybe they forgot, but they knew I was there, and that's not my fault. And the cops are like, the Taunton police were like, yeah, that makes sense. And then it was over. But Kate is so convinced that simply because they called me, I was going down. Listen to this.
And I'm only saying this because I got the documentation and confirmation.
Ooh, documentation.
Back, but as
drum roll.
Yeah, as someone who may or may not know, I have had a kind of a one-sided feud because I really haven't swung back a lot. But Turtleboy Sports, Aidan Kearney, the guy behind Turtleboy Sports, has been relentlessly attempting to character assassinate me, harass anyone related to me. He sent out threatening messages to anyone he knows associates with me up until the hours of like 1:33 a.m. Okay, just unhinged. Today, I received confirmation that he is being criminally charged with a felony related to his harassment against me. So I will reiterate, I don't play these high school dropout petty mean girl games, but I will take the legal course of action necessary to stop abhorrent behavior. So let that be a lesson to anyone else, because in about a week or two, he will be receiving a summons in the mail and he will be going to court for felony wiretapping.
Oh my God. It's been 2.5 years. Is it coming, Kate? When is it? Because you sounded really serious there. Like, it's definitely fine. I have an announcement. You will definitely be like, listen how serious she says it. And these idiots are all like, wow, kill shot Kate. Oh, yeah. Get him, Kate. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You're the best, Kate. You're the best. You're so serious.
Beauty.
And I have the police report if anyone wants to see it.
I have the police report.
Give it to him, Kate.
Give him to him, Kate. Give him to him, Kate.
And that's that. You know, this is obviously the criminal charges are precluding the civil litigation that's ongoing. So that'll be a whole nother can of worms.
Wait, the civil the precluding. I love the words. So the criminal charges will be preclude the civil litigation that is ongoing. So I'm being sued. I think that's the Gaffney. Remember Gaffney sent me a demand letter? When am I getting sued? Remember she raised all that money to sue me and then never did? Why am I not being sued yet, Kate? How many lies can you tell before your idiot followers realize they're being lied to? Like constantly. Everything you're hearing right now is a lie.
Damn.
They're just like, well, she talks fast, so she must know what she's talking about.
It's true.
It's true.
Entity, reaching out to entity for help.
Right. I like Brown Eyes Gal's comment there.
Yeah, really. Yep. I mean, yeah, he's somebody who, you know, at one point had announced that he invented talking about 1A auditors. We couldn't do that because we were stealing his intellectual property, which is insane. But then he goes ahead and reaches out to News New England and goes, I stayed out of all the auditor stuff. Well, which is it? Did you originate it or did you stay out of it? Oh, I know. It's answer C. You're a congenital liar.
Congenital. Oh, her favorite. Answer C.
Do you know what that means, Fix? It means you come from a long line of liars.
Yeah. It means that they...
Wake up, Fix.
Whoa. I'm wide awake, homie.
Who listens to this?
Stop playing with your light. Stop playing with your lightsaber.
Man, I'll fucking show you a lightsaber.
Yeah, and then she did post. This was the
They're private guys.
I actually just watched.
I can't even listen to that. So they did post the report, basically that she called and complained. And it says here, at no point during the conversation recorded by Kearney were Ashley, Acevedo, or Kearney aware that he was there. Yes, they were. Yes, they both. And then they're getting legal advice from Gaffney here saying it's definitely going to happen and blah, 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 blah. And, oh, Tamise Brown. This is one of Kate's alt accounts. Kate Peter is suing Turtleboy. From what I've read, she got a pretty good case against him. Civil. And then here she is sharing the fundraiser for the account. So, yeah. A wellness check, and yeah, and there's Forrest, and yeah, okay. And they were just obsessed with me, and I don't even know. But here's Gaffney. I am flawed, but oh God, we're not even going to get into his shit. He's a whole other story. Okay, so let's get back to some screenshots. Let's go look at old Kate Facebook posts that I got here. So again, that's her talking about how I'm fucked for sharing her probate docs. Here's a conversation between me and Kate. My daughter and I are going to stalk the Gutter Muppet, Fall River Gutter Muppet, a ratchet we wrote about, to see if we can catch her working the corner in Pawtucket. Turtleboy is fixing our relationship. Thanks. So her and her daughter, she thinks this is appropriate. I think her daughter was 13 at the time, are going to go into Pawtucket to see if the Fall River Gutter Muppet was hooking on the corners. That's bonding time for her extremely troubled daughter. Or how about this conversation that I had with her? Dated, and this is, again, how many times have we heard about extramarital affairs or some shit like that? This is January of 2019. She texts me and says, dude, I am in so much trouble. What's the matter? I didn't go home last night. Why? I got drunk. I got too drunk and stayed at this person's house. I go, so what? Wouldn't you be pissed? I go, did you tell him? This is when I thought she was married. I go, it's not like you cheated. I go, definitely not. That woman isn't my type. I go, is he pissed or something? I mean, I guess if I didn't get a phone call, and he's like, oh yeah, he's pissed. And I said, well, that's what sorry's for. And she goes, somewhere there is a video of me getting a whole bar going over Turtleboy. DJ gave me the mic and woke up to like 20 new followers. I got drunk and played the same shameless promotion game since we are all in Turtleboy gear anyway. You don't realize how many readers we actually have until you get on the microphone and hear a crowd's reaction to it. But again, this is the woman who goes, nobody knows what Turtleboy is. Yeah, I go out, nobody knows. Bet you're right here being like, I went out, everybody knows Turtleboy. Oh, it turns out they do. It turns out they do, but nobody knows who you are. Okay. This is her again. In a conversation we have, I ask her, are you okay? This is when another time, like this is when I started realizing something might be wrong here. And she was lying to me. I fell for it too. She's telling me that her daughter is in the hospital and that her boyfriend beat the shit out of her and she wanted to go find the boyfriend. I'm like, what? And then she claims that then we find out the boyfriend didn't beat her up. And so, but she was in the hospital and was covered in bruises. And we said, how'd you get those bruises? She goes, well, she got them climbing out her window. She bruised her arm climbing out the window. The doctors and the police and DCF did not believe her. And this is her telling me, I'm still in the ER with my daughter. The doctor is grilling me worse than the cops and DCF did. Now I look back on this and I'm like, oh, he hit her again. He hit her. He hit the girl. I guarantee he hit her. That's why she's covered in bruises. God knows he smashed Kate's face into the counter. And she just keeps this monster around. It's not enough for her to get the shit kicked out of her. She's got to keep him around to kick the shit out of the daughter as well. And then lie and call the daughter a liar to cover it up. This is her just constantly ripping on the husband. My husband is an idiot. No, your boyfriend is an idiot. Wrong. Correction. Or this one. Or how about this one? This is what she tells me in a Facebook conversation. She tells me, the real reason I don't drink is, yeah, right. Last time I drank, I got an all expenses paid evening at the Ash Street lockup for going full on Walker and biting Andy. I go, you bit him? His wrist. In my defense, he had his hands around my throat. I threw 3 glasses of cold water on top of him while he tried to sleep. Screeched insults and told him I fucked his brother before his hands got there. Now I'm starting to wonder what happened. Like in that one report that we read in February 22, the guy just woke up at 8 a.m. and he's like, starts beating the shit out of her. What? I get the whole, stop it, Carrie T. Stop it. Inappropriate. Yep. So anyway, what do we got next here? What else do we got? And then he says I go, wow. She goes, yeah, but in my defense, calling the cops and getting me arrested is a bitch ass movement. She calls her boyfriend, a bitch ass movement for calling the cops on her for doing that. This is 2017. This is right. Oh, this is right after I think this is around the first time he got arrested. What's on my mind? How about how much money I have to shell out because the dog, Jolene, has a large and growing lump on her tail. It's been there a while because my ex is such a useless tool that he never bothered to get it checked. Or how now she's vomiting. I'm trying to figure out what to tell my kids if it's the worst and we have to put her down because this guy can really sleep at night, taking in a creature he has not the skills, means, nor interest in actually supporting. Call me a bitch if you want, but I think it's a pretty simple concept. Don't take the responsibility of a living creature if you're not going to actually take care of it. Oh boy. Don't take on the responsibility of a living creature if you're not going to take care of it. You did it 4 times and it wasn't a dog. They were human beings. Jesus Christ. Poor Jolene. I'm hoping it's benign and she just got into something. I wish I could afford an emergency vet, but I can't. And she says of him, he's a junkie. What am I supposed to do? Yep. I thought he was with his mom. It's tough on you. All right. Here's another one. March of 2016. Whenever we leave her alone, Jolene rips through the trash. It's a pain. Oh, so this is just complaining about the dog, which was remember one of their incidents, according to the police report. Oh, this is the one. Okay. So this was, I took this screenshot in 2020. So this happened in 2019. There's been so many incidents. I think there was an incident involving a dog in one of those police reports where he accused her of, she said that she tripped on the dog. She told the police, but he says otherwise. He says this. Mom got it. He's talking to the daughter here. Mom got exactly what she asked for. She controlled that, like everything. If you are Teresa, call an aunt or uncle. They can manage time or visits between us. Or for Steven, if you don't want to see me. I know who saw what and who exited the room, so excuse my paranoia. That's the way it has to be for you and me, kids. Not my choice or yours, but it is what it is. Love always, Dad. Any hurt done to her wasn't intentional. Yelling, quote, I'll kick your fucking dog. And Jolene squealing left me every right to stop the advancing person on my dog. Accident? Maybe. I don't believe that. I believe her actions were 100% intentional. I'm not sorry I protected the dog. I'm sorry your mother got hurt. Spinning or wrestling me. I think this is the incident where smashing of the head on the counter. That's what this was. This is the smashing of the head on the counter. And he blames it. He claims that she kicked the dog and he defended the dog. What? I don't give a shit, but why are kids witnessing this shit? That's what I want to know. That's the kind of person I am. I won't discuss it anymore on a public forum. That's all you could say, sweetheart. I need worry about myself for once, not your mother's anger. I'll be ignoring Facebook from now on. Like they're just airing their dirty laundry. Any hurt done to her wasn't intentional. Yeah, we saw that one. This is her daughter responding. All you do is lie, so everybody will take your side. And you make a child out to lie, but I'm not lying. You are. We all hear your fights. And this is they're posting this on Facebook publicly. And by the way, you know who gave me this screenshot and put child and cover it up like this? That would be Shannon LeBerry. Shannon gave me this one. And I got the screenshots to prove that. Shannon gave me all this shit on Kate. She's the reason that Kate's exposed half the time. Best friends though. So she is well aware of what a horrible mother Kate is, but she's a horrible mother herself, so might as well hang out and get apps. And don't ever say you love us because you don't, or you would tell the truth for once instead of blaming it all on mom. And by the way, I heard her say she wanted to kill JoJo, not kick her. The daughter saying, I heard mom say, I want to kill the dog. But I guess either way, you can hit her and it's okay. I loved you and so did Stevie, but all you care about is yourself and how you look. Bye. This is her. This is me talking to Kate. She goes, I called my child a thieving piece of shit. I'm genuinely concerned about my own abilities at this point because that doesn't help a thing. Okay, that's good. We've seen this. I hate drugs. Sure thing. What's this one? My husband is going to die. What did he do? Oh, he blocked the internet shit. Okay, so that's her telling me the husband is going to die. What do we got over here? How about this? I'm really looking forward to hearing about myself on this one. Special thank you to the friends and family who were more comfortable sitting in denial than stepping in at any point. Go bail your boy out. This is when Andrew got arrested. One of the times. Whenever anything bad happens to Andy, the rumors from his people always start immediately that it was my doing somehow instead of his drug addiction. He got arrested again a few hours ago. So I figured I'd start a thread for people to put their accusations in one neat place instead of all over social media. Oh, good. Good thing you're airing that publicly. How about this one? I'm putting my life on blast for a minute. I'm clean and sober because my sobriety, congratulations, is my first priority, period. Sure it is. I get thrown through the mud because someone else and cannot step out and get clean, wants to manipulate and divert attention. You're still with this person. You guys are airing your dirty laundry on Facebook and shit. And your kids are watching this. And the fact that my children get drugged through this is disgusting. I'm not backing down. And if you're going to take his side and continue to let his addict behavior slide, remove yourself. Want to buy into his bullshit and lies? Ask to see his screen. My house is sober. Okay, cool. What else we got? Men who want you to hold it down patiently while they screw up. Nah, honey, I'm not here to raise a little boy. I was not built. I'm looking for a grown-up man. Okay, not looking to adopt. No, you're definitely not. Andy refuses to get help. She's a good woman. Can't believe she got involved like that. I have no money because of it. He filed a nasty report with DCF and the people and the police. That is hard to prove or disprove and is going to take weeks to clear up. He ripped apart this whole family just because he refuses to admit his problem and recover. What family? He's not part of the family. You can leave him whenever you want, but you choose to be around him. Again, a theme. What's his name? My heart is broken. I was really decent with the 209A hearing. I tried not to bash him. I made it clear he's a wonderful guy when he's not stuck in addiction. I love him. He just needs to get healthy instead of having the order for 6 months or a year like they usually did. I asked for 60 days to revisit. Oh, pretty reasonable. How about this one? Adrian Baptista says, somebody should do something about that guy. He's no good. Shocks me that mommy and daddy just let him sit in their house getting high and hurting other people. How old is he? He's like 40. He's an addict. It's a disease, she tells him. He helped raise my children in sobriety, and I love him. Just not the shit he does while he's in active addiction, which seems to be all the time. So maybe just stay in your lane. Okay. Is a conversation with me. I'm annoyed. I literally just went and bought her all this expensive ass shit about her daughter. She wanted for Christmas Vans and vintage concert tees, skateboard, $500. Oh, congratulations. You bought your kid Christmas gifts. And the one thing I asked DCF for, they just said, sorry, can't help. And that's that. It's like if you have a job and an actual responsibilities, they're unequipped to work with. They all bum around after school at Mason Field and do drugs and shit. I literally want to just smash my head against a brick wall at this point, and fuck me for leaving my purse out in the kitchen. That was a dumbass move. She accused her daughter of stealing her Vivanese, or however you pronounce it. We've already seen this one. How about this one? This is a good one. This is in 2014. Oh, no, we already read that one. Read that one. Anything else here? Okay, these are conversations with me about, remember she always accuses me of like, what? All he cares about is money and shit like that. I didn't have donos before. That was a new thing. I never thought I'd be a dono guy. It was all her idea. She goes, I'm hoping to get YouTube to the point where it supplements some of the ad revenue lost from the blog. I'm trying to get it ahead of the tech learning curve. I go, yeah, but we made $12 last month on AdSense. She goes, we have to get ahead of the monetization block. And if it doesn't look and sound good, nobody's going to subscribe. Okay. My boss's wife is in marketing, so she's like all like, let's make money on YouTube. Here's another comment she wrote. Maybe Steven, but Teresa can sit her ass home with the father that she tried to get arrested for child abuse. This is what I'm talking about. This is the kind of shit. The daughter says she was abused, and you're like, no, you're lying. He would never do that. Sure, he occasionally smashes my head into the freaking thing, but he would never do that. Stop doing that. This is in 2019, I believe this was. This is what she says about the daughter. She wants to punish us and then cries when it looks like it might come true because God forbid she has to move after she's put this shit in motion. Thank God they tend to interview my son, but that's so unfair to him. This is what she says about the daughter. This little twat has no clue how bad it is for us to actually voluntarily invite DCF back into our lives. This is what she says about her again. I'm starting to hate my own kid. I went behind Andy's back and left a message for the guidance counselor. I want her searched. Okay, this is normal. I found more weed cartridges in a room in the drop ceiling, and she cried and screamed and told me they were hers and I had no right to take them. Then turned around and told the therapist that she stole them from me, which is untrue. There's a text message from me. She goes, when she's 13. I'm on medication similar to Adderall called Vyvanse. For intensive purposes, intense and purposes, Kate, it's Adderall. Last month, and remember, he does Adderall. He's such a crackhead. He does Adderall. Bitch, you do the same thing. Last month, it came up short. I thought it was the guys that I hired to do groundswork at work. This month, my entire script was taken. I drug tested her. Did you? Amphetamines and weed. She's in 7th grade. I'm honestly considering putting a CRA on her. I'm being told it's not that unusual. And I'm like, yeah, she's way too young for that. Yeah, but okay. Oh, this one. Also, grown-ups can't beat up 14-year-old boys, but I want to kill the kid that got her into this behavior. Again, always blaming another person. She says she wants to kill a 14-year-old child for her daughter's problems. You're the cause of your daughter's problems. You did this. You did this. I think I need to talk to the school cops. I know I'm liable, but that's the right thing to do, right? Yep, I think so. I'm like, okay. I voluntarily applied for DCF to come back into my life. Okay, it's all DCF's fault. Their fault. What's this one? This is in 2018. It's worth it for me to know not only am I providing a decent life for my kids, but I'm also not setting a shit example for my kids. This is when she's routinely bringing violence into the house. But I'm not setting a shit example for my kids. Lazy, entitled parents tend to raise lazy, entitled kids. Like she literally sat there and had the audacity to write for Turtleboy, and I had no idea any of this should happen. I didn't look into her past at all. Shame on me. But she's sitting there just crapping on other people. And this is going on in her own backyard. This is what she's doing. And she's like, well, Turtleboy made me do this. But you were writing that shit on Facebook before you ever came on Turtleboy. Stop it. No one. I look at households where no adults are employed. Who is teaching these kids values and work ethic? Oh my God. The answer is no one. Not to stereotype, but a lot of unemployed households I've known are really dirty and cluttered all the time. Like what? You lost your kids because your house was dirty and cluttered. Oh, this is a screenshot that Shannon sent me about Kate being charged with larceny, drug larceny, because she stole pills from an old folks home that she works at. Or how about this? Another post. Sure thing. Unless someone is neglecting or abusing their kids, nobody should say shit about another parent's life. Well, why are you judging my kids? You said it right there. Unless someone's neglecting or abusing them, if you neglect or abuse them, it's fair game, right? Your words, not mine. I'll take it further and say I'm a recovering alcoholic, took over my life, and my kids were neglected. But recovery turns us around, and that's love and perseverance, and I'd say being a damn good mom. She's a damn good mom, guys, a damn good one. We're all human. We all have our struggles. As long as you keep fighting your own demons and you love your kids, keep a roof over their heads and food in their bellies, and occasionally subject them to domestic violence, clean clothes on their backs, you are mother of the effing year. Yeah, you even ask her. She's the greatest mother ever. I go, this is a conversation between her and I. She goes, I'm not in this for the money. That should be abundantly clear by now. I go, yeah, but I want to run this by a business, which means that's the goal. She goes, we're going to get there. I believe it. I think we need to focus on the business side. At core, you have something so special, she says, and important here. And here she tells me I had never collected donations before. And then she tells me it's a good case for donations. Can we trust the readers to donate? Maybe I should do some more legwork on finding the feminists. They donate. And I go, donate to what? She goes, you have a fight that connects people to a cause. It was incentive for people to donate. You can fight it. Is this not the exact same model that she's using to fleece people with Chile, by the way? Like, she has the cause. Like, Chile wants to end free speech. Donate to me and we'll fight free speech. And then I'll just never show you any receipts. And I'll fire the lawyer and I'll fight it on my own. God knows how much she pocketed with that. It transcends donate to Turtleboy to keep us writing. It's to donate to Turtleboy to fight against the precedent. This is the exact model she's using to fleece her supporters. If I were to write a blog leaning into that angle, I'd be shopping it to every woman's and domestic violence Facebook group. And there's not much mutual love there. Okay. This is what she says about Turtleboy. There's a streak of vigilante to what we're doing. I love it. I'm really grateful for you and what you have allowed me to do. Oh, but she hated it, guys. She hated it the whole time. Sure she did. How about this? I think we should think more about YouTube. If Josh Abrams can make money off of it, why couldn't we? We should model ourselves after Josh Abrams. I'm willing to invest some more equipment to improve the production value, and maybe we could think about some sort of audio space. Right. Meanwhile, she's just thinking, like, for me, like, I'm going to enrich myself off of your labor. But have you noticed that we're getting a fair amount of free promotion? People are making videos about us constantly. And I go, I've always thought about letting people pay for me to roast the ratchet of their choice in a freestyle. And she mocks. She's like, why would anyone pay for the freestyle? She goes, that's a good idea. She tells me to do it. Like, thank you, Kate. The whole donos for the freestyle, that was your idea. Or at least you co-signed it. I was thinking 50. She actually tells me, make it 150. I'm like, okay. And we talk about more ideas to make money here and blah, blah, blah. She blames me for not doing anything with the charity bike ride, which is complete bullshit. How about this? Giving your kid up, if you can't do it properly, is being a mom. No, it's actually the exact opposite of being a mom. Like, she justifies giving the kids away, but she didn't even give the kids away. They were taken from her because she chose Andrew Johnson over them. It's looking out for their best interest, being selfless, sitting around sleeping all day and not cleaning. It's just the ability to judge these people is just amazing. Amazing that she can sit there and judge people. How about this? This is what she says about her kid. To complete strangers. She'll never have an issue with that. I've been hit by her more than once.
She's been able to throw a punch for several years now, like blaming her daughter for being violent, essentially. And then girls like that really, I shouldn't laugh, but sorry, Jeff Love Pig says. She carries a heavy burden, which she's lived through because of you. She's leveled out quite a bit. A few bumps in the road here, the occasional domestic violence charge or running away from home. The incident with Andy, he lost a tooth. And she pulled a knife on him. You read the police report. He pulled the fucking knife. And she blamed it on him. He pointed the blade at her. That fucking happened. Insane. The lies. This is what she also says. I never gave my kid pot. I'm aware she smokes it. I explained the rationale of the cigarettes, how she bribes her kids with cigarettes to do chores, which is normal. And it's preferable to picking them off the street. Anyone who doesn't provide their kids with condoms is an actual piece of shit. Actually, they're not. Actually, you did more than just provide them with condoms, Kate. You said that you let her boyfriend sleep over the house when he was 15. Yeah. Andy assaulted me for worse. It's funny. Domestic violence is funny. Well, I'm not going to say cool, but I get what you mean. What does she mean, dude? Do you think that's normal? Do you think that's normal there, Jeff? This is the lies about what happened there. And then she's doing this whole thing about if he contacts me. Did you guys see the blog written today? Did you see this one? Let's check this one out. Because I didn't put her name in the blog, but it's about her. I could not fucking believe this happened. Check this out. So I was sent screenshots today of her daughter's Facebook page. And I noticed, right? This is a post on her page. It appears to show her smoking a blunt. And this is when she was 15 years old. On her Facebook page, social media. And a guy named Jermaine Hardman comments and writes, 100 emoji, chillin'. There's another post of her. Another one. Jermaine likes it. Jermaine likes it. Loves it, actually. Loves it. Well, who's Jermaine Hardman? Well, let's find out. There's Jermaine Hardman. Why is her 15-year-old daughter friends with this guy? Why is he commenting on her page? Go check out Jermaine Hardman. He's blocked me already, so I can't. But Jermaine Hardman in 2016 was charged with raping a 15-year-old girl at his home. He was held on $50,000 bond because it was a very serious allegations and numerous other convictions in Florida. The guy has 5 separate charges on his resume, and he's openly on Facebook associating and commenting on images of her daughter smoking pot. If your kid is posting pictures on Facebook where I can see them, where the world can see them, smoking pot, and a fucking child rapist is commenting on them, who for some reason is friends with your fucking kid. What is wrong with you? And again, drop everything you're doing and your YouTube and fucking everything if you gave a shit about your kid, because she needs your fucking help. But you don't. Your kid is fucking hanging out with pedophiles, doing drugs, running away from home. And what are you doing? You're on fucking Masshole Report and Troll Mafia. You're talking about Chili de Castro. Like that is something that fucking matters right about now. Like it is crazy when you go through this and you see all the shit Like, let's check it out here. Does she post? Like, if we go on, oh, they're still live. Let's see. Talking about chili here.
To do it.
Dump truck.
No, you shouldn't have to do that.
No, you shouldn't have
You
to.
should just enter your name.
And this woman, when I go to meet Irish Demon, has the audacity to ask me, where's your kids? Where's my kids? Like, imagine having the balls to ask that question, knowing your past. Like, if you go on here, it's like, when you go back and look at the dates, like, okay, so one of those incidents happened in September 28th of 2021. Well, what's she doing back then? Let's see. Let's find out. What date did this happen? Let's see. Furry potato. Remember that? What's this one? This is
I don't.
Oh, this is, I think, a little bit older. This is okay. This is, we went too far back. That's February 2021. What's this one?
Line I do on here is still.
This is May of 2021. Okay. Sorry about the coughing. How about this one?
Convinced Aidan that he is a legitimate.
This is September 24th, 2021. On September 28th, 2021, that was the knife incident. This is what she was doing 4 days before the knife incident. She is talking about what? Me beating it. There. That's it. Me beating it. That's what she's talking about. Well, this animal is in the same house as the fucking daughter. That's what she's doing, which is wild, which is absolutely wild. What about the February 9th, 2022 incident? Let's see. What's this one?
Yourself.
What is this one? This is February 17th, 2022. This is 1 week after Andrew Johnson picked her up and slammed her in front of her son, who said, I'm afraid to go home if that guy's in the house still. What's she doing? Hanging out with a guy who infamously said, what about her son? What did you say about, let's see what that guy had to say about her son. I know he said something. Let's see.
Dude, to get your kid taken in Massachusetts as a female, bruh,
Yeah.
you
Right.
literally, they gotta catch you fucking pimping her out and fucking lighting
That's
your
what I'm
crack pipe
saying.
off its head.
Yeah.
Listen, unless her daughter was at the liquor store, I don't believe Kate found her for 1 second. Not one.
I think.
Well, let's not forget what happened in DCF care with her son and her daughter. Like, that was learned behavior. That was learned behavior. You know,
That is 100% something was witnessed or done to Fiddler on the Roof there, her son. And he acted out the same behavior because he thinks it's all right.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not saying this shit because I hope these kids go through no, it's just like I said, I'm enjoying the fuck out of this. And there'll be people tomorrow talking about how much of a scumbag I am from liking this. I don't like that her kid's a fucking mess.
No.
But you don't only need to look at Kate. Kate is the root cause of all of this. And someday karma comes for its payment. And she'll get it. And we will sit back and laugh because we still have a great show. And you'll
Right.
Well, she's real good at fooling stupid people. Like that is a skill. I mean,
Hey,
you look
come
at
on,
her
give me a
audience and stuff. Hey, you were stupid. I got stupid a little. We made the mistake. I'm talking about the ones that even after this are gonna blindly defend it. They'll be like, well, maybe her vagina had COVID. That could happen. Listen,
indigenous isn't when you put your fingers in a dog's butt?
No.
No, that's what Kate's son put in his fucking sister. That's what the fucking indigenous.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
How about? Oh no, you guys want to keep?
That's not an allegation you get to make, you piece of shit.
Oh no, it's actually in the DC.
I mean, I'm like the best I can do at this point is like, yeah, I'm going down to fucking court. Like,
I mean, obviously, this was fabricated. Like, I know that much. I'm assuming that he fabricated it until I, see something otherwise. But I mean, it's just absolute fucking lunacy. And then you look at what he's actually produced there. And the allegation within that is not that I allowed my children to be sexually abused at all, nor is it that I sexually abused them. So he's just making that up on top of this already fabricated
He's saying they did it to each other.
Right, which is disgusting and untrue. And like, then you go back, like literally, like I'm talking to the fucking area director, like, what the fuck? And they come back like, we don't know what to tell you. That's not our record. Like, I fucking know that, but
and
at some point,
you weren't mentioned.
Sure thing, Amanda. Sure.
Rainbow! We did it!
Everyone, that's Harmony Montgomery's mom. That's she's no better. But yeah, I mean, that's what they were doing, which is just wild. So again, I could go on and on about this. It's just, I think we get the point here. I'm blown away by it, man. I'm blown away by it. And now those are the Andrew Johnson files that we've just read. The arrest reports, those are real. You have no right to judge anyone else. I mean, just amazing. You just sit there and judge other people, and that's what's happening in your home. And you have the audacity to call your daughter, who is damaged because of you, a liar in order to protect her abuser, the monster. That's the first time I've ever seen Andrew Johnson in the flesh, and he assaulted me. He's an animal. He's an animal. Now imagine what he would do to a little girl. So, boom, roasted. So we can have, why am I doing this episode? I'm doing this episode because that guy assaulted me. And I wanted to look into who he was. And I always thought that Andrew Johnson was like a drugged out loser, who I thought that Kate was lying about the domestic violence. No, she just likes violent men. She just can't. Every guy she's with put hands on her and she doesn't dump them. Yeah, he's put hands on me a couple times. Men are not supposed to put hands on women ever. I have never put hands on a woman, and I can safely say I never will. No matter how many times I've ever been mad or upset with a woman I'm dating, it has never crossed my mind. Ever. Not only would that be a horrible example to set for my children, I just don't have it in me. I don't have it in me. I would never, ever touch a woman I was in a relationship with. And I don't want a fucking cookie for that. It's just common sense. Like, who the fuck does that? So that is why we were doing that. So that's why we brought this all up, just because this monster needs to be exposed. And he's on probation right now for those two other charges, the February charge and the September charge. And he assaulted me while he's out on probation for that. He violated the restraining order that she has on him. She continues to allow this monster in her house. So I just want, because again, I want this documented. I want this all out there in case any of these people that she ever goes after, that they can just search her name and boom, this comes up, the truth. Court records. This is all the incident happened at West Roxbury Court, West Roxbury District Court with me, but all of his charges are in Attleboro Court. All right, anybody else? Yeah, it's like, it's not normal to say sorry. It's like, it's not normal to blame it. Oh, he's on drugs. But besides that, he's a good guy. No. There's plenty of guys out there. But again, what normal guy is going to want to date her? What did DCF say when you talked to them? They're very concerned. They're obviously very familiar with her. And they're not going to get back to me, obviously, about what they're going to do. But they did thank me, and they seemed very concerned with the things that I was telling them, which were all true and were all documented. Yeah, he violated the 209A. Boom. Of course I sent it to the court. Of course I did. And the police. Andrew is what is normal to Kate. She did this to her, and Kate was too foolish not to break up with him. Exactly. And again, you want to live like that? Fine. Don't drag kids into it. We've seen what happens with them. There's a control group. The two other kids are the control group. They're going to turn out normal. their brother and sister who had their siblings stolen from them. Like, let's not gloss over that fact. The brother was 1 year older than his other brother, and he loved him. Harmony Montgomery had a bond with her brother. It's very sad to read about that. And they were separated. That's traumatic. I mean, it's fucking horrible, man. Horrible. Horrible. Do you have any advice for people dealing with anxiety and depression caused by other people on how to call? Wasn't expecting that question, but let's see. I don't know. Well, talk to a therapist, number one. That definitely helped with me. And find out the root cause of your issues and be very honest about it, I guess. Just talk to people. The more you talk about it, the better, I think. With people that you trust, obviously, you don't need to post about it on Facebook like she does. But talk about it with people that you trust, because it's not like an easy fix. You can't just press a button or take a pill and you're all better and shit. It's just about like managing it, because we all deal with anxiety to some degree. It's just a matter of how much it controls us. You know, I don't know if I'm helping the kids, but I feel like I care about them more than she does. I'm very worried for them. Like, they're so old. Like, the daughter is so old now, it's too late. Like, I hate to say that, she's 16. You're not going to change her at this point. She is what she is. The boy is the one I'm really concerned about, because he was the one that was hospitalized, and like, you saw him. That broke my heart when he's like, I'm scared to be around him. Horrible, you know? Kids should not be a part of any of this. He is the third partner. That's Peter. That's true. Yeah, like, drugs aren't the reason that you hit women. You hit women because you don't mind hitting women. Have you tried? I have messaged Jade Lamb. I have not heard back from her. But maybe someday. Natasha Gomez, would you like to, if Natasha's the one that came on before, if you'd like to come on, I can send you the link. I'll send you it on Facebook Messenger. If you want to come on, you're more than welcome to. Hold on one sec. I sent you the link if you want to come on. You don't have to, but if you want to. Yes, she's more than welcome to come on. Yeah, the Harmony thing, horrible. Yeah, you're right. That's a good point, Matt. You're like, I'm a doctor. It was very therapeutic of me to have Turtleboy and have this outlet. You all helped me a lot. I'm not going to lie. You made me feel loved and welcomed and valued, which I didn't feel at the time. And that really meant a lot. But not everyone has this. I get that. So it's not like I can be like, just start a YouTube channel and talk to people every day. I've had debility, anxiety attack. It works it through, but put the work in and it'll change your life. Absolutely. Cognitive behavior. And I've obviously changed a lot since 16 years old too, but at this point, like, who she is at her core, like, the road she's going down is so adult already. I mean, the mother admits that she's giving her condoms, letting boys stay over. Like, my 16 and her 16 are completely different, because I had parents that loved me and took care of me. And honestly, firing back at her, like, I've thought about this. I'm like, is she bad for my mental health or good for my mental health? Because I'm like, at one point, I'm like, I'm never going to talk about her again because it's just so bad for my mental health. But at the same time, just, it feels good to just be like, this person who has done all these fucking lied about you and done these horrible things about you and caused real problems in your life. Contacting family members, contacting the police about me constantly, like, doing all this shit. It feels good to just be like, you know what? We're going to fucking put the facts out there and set the record straight about this. Hey, Natasha's here.
Hey.
How you doing? Welcome back.
This is crazy.
Yeah, welcome. Hey, what'd you think of this all tonight?
There's some stuff I didn't know, and the stuff that she told you, most of them have like a little part that sounds like what we got, but a lot of it's different. Like the thing with what was it? It was in 2016. One of the ones that you did, that one. She told me that she called me supposedly when he was in the basement, had just shut the power off to the apartment and was refusing to turn it back on unless he gave her the pills. I mean, unless she gave him the pills. And
Really?
I was like, yeah.
Yeah. He wasn't arrested that time. I don't think he was arrested that time. I think the first one was in like 2017.
No, that's when she went to court and she tried to say, oh, he's just on drugs and I want him to go to rehab. She tried to force him into rehab. That's what she told me she was doing.
Do you have, and I think you're the one that told us more about the Jade story. Do you think Jade would talk to us?
I think it depends. She got really messed over by Kate, like a different level.
So, because you saw that comment, like they seemed friendly in 2016. How did Kate screw her over exactly? I mean, obviously
2016 is when all of that happened. So if you can find any comments that she's being supportive of her after that, I'd be surprised.
Well, Kate has taken down all of those posts by now, so they're all gone. But we got as many screenshots as we could. Was there any more details of that story that I missed? I mean, it was pretty simple, right? Like she was her sponsor, I believe.
She was her sponsor while we were bringing Kate to AA meetings while she was supposedly her sponsor.
Mm. And she was, and just to review,
she took her antabuse every day so that she couldn't drink.
And just to review, you were the best man in Kate's wedding. And
No.
I apologize. Kate was the best man in your wedding. And then she tried to sabotage your marriage after that, correct?
Immediately, like 4 days.
By doing what?
Telling me that my husband's talking about who he can cheat on me with and this and that, the other mess. All kinds of craziness that he, only was with me because I was so broken. He needed somebody to fix. Crazy. Just a bunch of shit. And when I'd had enough, I told Eli, and he called her, and she was like, I'm not talking about this right now. I'm at work. We were all at work at the same place.
Really? Oh, okay. Do you guys have any more questions for anything? I mean, what did you think of the whole presentation tonight? Were you shocked by any of it? I mean, did you know about the knife story?
No.
I didn't know that either.
I didn't know anything about her or them since we cut her off completely.
Why do you think Andy hasn't left her?
Because it cost him too much money to get those pills on the street.
Oh, you think so?
I think so.
Wow. So she's keeping him around with the pills, you think?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Wow.
That's totally
wild.
her thing. She can control him. He's like her little puppet.
Yeah, but I mean, that's what I felt like with me. It was like attack. You saw that video. It's like she was like happy with it. Like, ooh, good attack dog. Yes, you did what you're supposed to do.
You see his eyes, right? He's definitely messed up. So.
Oh, he was on something in court that day. Mm-hmm. There was no doubt about it.
Mm-mm.
So
no, definitely.
Cool.
Definitely.
Yeah. So I didn't really talk to you since last time, but I sent you. I got in touch with you again this week. I'm like, you got to check this shit out. Like, it's crazy. Last time you were on with Brett, and now Brett has turned into a completely. You want to hear something? Like, this is him. I got to play this. This is he's changed a little bit. This is him saying. I got to find this clip. It's too funny.
Apologizing to her.
Oh, watch this.
Family. All right, so fuck it. I apologize. I do feel terrible about the things I said about you and your family. No, fuck that. I know you don't care, but just for me, I think I have to say I'm sorry, because if people did that to mine, I would feel a certain kind of way. And so, yeah, the one apology you fucking assholes get for a second.
Please don't.
I don't do the sorry shit, and I'm not going to now. But some of her biggest points about her son and her daughter and stuff, I Jesus Christ, I partook in that, and I probably went way further than he was willing to with those insults and stuff. And to where I do feel bad for that. Just because.
God. Now, how about this one? This is where he admits that he talks to her daughter, and this is what he says about talking to her.
But so before that show, it was literally me, Kate, her daughter, and your neighbors, I think.
Yeah.
Where you kept having to tell them to shut the fuck up because they were getting too loud. And this fucking little sociopath daughter of Kate's was telling me to shut my fucking mouth. Like, she had no qualms about telling, hey, listen, faggot. And I was just so shocked at the fact that's so your kid, man. Like,
yeah, she is.
Imagine being proud that your daughter called this guy a faggot, and she's like, yeah, that's my girl. That's my baby girl. Like, what? Oh my God.
She wants her to be like her.
She does. Like, they're gonna have a fallout though eventually, don't you think?
I think it's gonna be like cats fighting.
I think eventually I'm gonna be getting a message from that girl. I have no doubt about it. That one day I'm gonna get a message in my inbox, and that's when things are gonna get really interesting. I'm guessing because she's like, you're reaching out to my kid. I've never reached out to your kid. All I said is this is a safe space. If you are a victim of violence, you are welcome to come on here and say your piece about it. That's all I'm saying. So, but anyway, I just want to have you on real quick. Yeah. But thank you for joining us. All right.
Yep. This was a lot of fun.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah. All right. You guys have any more questions you want to ask me? Fire away. If not, we'll call it a night. I think it's been a good episode here. Special episode. Oh, I got to check the donos. I don't want to miss any donos. Any turtle chats. Do I got any? Got another turtle chat. This is from Wheezy. How unbelievable. $5. Okay. How unbelievably stupid do you have to be to show up at a courthouse with the person who has an order on you? That's Kate. That's Killshot Kate. She's that person. So thank you, Wheezy, for the $5 dono. I appreciate it. I mean, like what has happened to Brett is just, I don't know if it's sad. It's really more pathetic than anything. Just watching him he's so desperate for attention that he just has to like beg this person who he knows is a piece of shit. He knows exactly what she is. Beg her and pretend that I'm somehow worse than her, I guess. Because of something, I don't know, kids in the tub or some shit like that. Somehow that's worse than all of that shit that you just saw. He's not stupid. He knows what it is, and he has to debase himself. I wouldn't call it sad. I'd call it pathetic because he's choosing to do it, and he thinks he's like owning me or something. Like, dude, we're all just laughing at you. Like, everyone's laughing at you. Even all the 5 people that actually watch the 5 hours of you, dying every night and playing video games, like, even they're watching me. And I know in their heart of hearts, they know what a fucking loser you are. But it is what it's saying. Chris is coming Friday. I'm going to be hanging out with him Friday. This is reading and sounding like he's upset because some dude put hands on him. Not cool. But why the public dragging? Is that a real question? Who wants to answer that question for him? Why the public dragging of him? Do you think he should? Oh, well, for one thing, he abuses children and women, and I think you should get dragged for that. I think you should be publicly dragged for that, especially when you assault me. And now I have even more reason to bring that up on you. So how about that? And she literally takes shots at everyone, including yours truly. Some really personal shots at me too. Yeah, when he tried to suck up to Irish Demon, that was the best when he tagged him, and then Irish Demon didn't even respond. That was great. That was great. Now he's going after Manch. He's doxing Manch. As if I haven't talked to Manch in 5 years. Ever since she got me sued over that Jamie Genero blog. And yes, I will be down there. I'll be there Friday in Boston. I have not caught a charge yet. I have not heard from the police yet. No police have called me. I was told there would be charges coming. Added to the list, I guess, of things that never happened. Do you want writers on the West Coast? I want writers everywhere. There we go. There's a good answer. This is media. Media reports on shitbags. Andrew's a shitbag. There we go. I like that answer. That's my answer. That's a good answer, Mega Mortis. No, he already posted it on his community tab. And Manch is a hot mess. A hot mess. I again, that was back when I was like desperate. I just needed anyone. I needed a warm body. And then after a while, I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna do this myself. This ain't worth it. All right. Any more last minute questions before we call it a night? Even the people that go on his show, a lot of them go over his channel. We'll have some controversy that way. If she hits the phantom of them, said something. Okay. I'm going to be in Boston on Friday with Billboard Chris protesting. You'll see. It's going to be live. We're going to do some impromptu lives that day. Stay tuned. So, all right, guys. Turtle Club tomorrow. Obviously, I'm having some issues with the cough in here. So we're going to call it a night, and we will see you all. I didn't get vaccinated. Are you fucking kidding me? We'll see you guys all for the next episode of Turtleboy Live on Saturday. And then we're going to have weekend show. Actually, there's a playoff game. We'll see you about Saturday. And then Turtle Club tomorrow night. Peace, Turtle Riders.